Up the middle of the diamond, shortstop Jose Reyes, still on the shortstop side. 2-2 delivery, lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Over to cut it off, right fielder Anthony goes heading for second. Kiermaier the throw. He's in there easily, stretching a single into a double.
That double, the Rays immediately squeezed on a $600 showcase stock and children, bringing the season total to $97,200.
That was a slider. It looked like Drew Hutchison tried to backdoor him a little bit, but Kevin Kiermaier right out of the batter's box, thinking too. He rounded first base very hard, and that's how you get two on that. Right out of the batter's box, Anthony Ghost, welcome back to the Blue Jays. He was totally caught off guard, not expecting that out of Kiermaier at all.
Now, doesn't it point out, too, that whether it's AAA Buffalo or the Major Leagues, it must be all-out effort all the time.
All the time, and that was all-out effort from Kevin Kiermaier right there. These Rays know that the Blue Jays outfield plays deep. Kiermaier was thinking that right when he left the batter's box.
And the pitch to Zobrist, switch hitter batting left-handed, high, ball one.
And that's good advanced scouting by the Rays as well. Knowing that the Blue Jays outfielders do play deep, Kiermaier hit the line drive into that right center gap. It's not right at one of the outfielders. Knowing an outfielder has to go to his side to get that ball, he was thinking around first base, 2 all the way, and he just kept going.
Hutchison back to his hitter. Zobrist takes a strike to count even 1-1. On this day back in 2006, the offensively challenged Houston Astros, they acquired 30-year-old left-handed hitting first baseman Aubrey Huff from these Rays for 2 minor league prospects. One of those was a right-handed pitcher named Mitch Talbot. Hutchison looks back at second twice. And the 1-1 pitch, that's driven into the left center field. Back to get it, Rasmus. Kiermaier will tag. Colby comes in, makes the catch. Kiermaier on his way to third. Colby's throw is on 3-4 bounces up the plate side. Not a good strong throw or accurate one. Kiermaier comes to third. Zobrist advances the runner. Well, the other prospect back in 2006 on this day that the Rays picked up, and this is again a credit to their young general manager, Andrew Friedman, a young switch-hitting infielder named Ben Zobrist, who, with this at-bat, is playing in his 1,000th career game.
How about that acquisition? And that's what happens when you make those quiet trades at the time, but when those players pan out, make your organization look pretty good down the road. Ben Zobrist has done that.
So right off the get-go here, the Blue Jays outfield is 0 for 2. Anthony Ghost just casually coming in to field a base hit, and Kiermaier picked his pocket. And now Rasmus, with plenty of room, he came in medium depth, ball caught in left center field, and a very poor throw. So the Rays in the scoreless game first inning bring up Matt Joyce, the left-hand hitting DH, with a chance to capitalize.
Well, and as you say, Colby caught that ball more towards left center field. Kiermaier tagging all the way. Again, that's a scouting report. Know that you're going to run on Rasmus. Colby did everything right. He got behind the baseball, came up, and he just made a terrible throw to third base.
Joyce drives one deep left center field. Back goes Rasmus for another one. He is there at the track. He settles in, makes the catch, tagging easily Kiermaier. And the Rays take full advantage of 2 Blue Jays mistakes, and they go out in front 1-0.
Third baseman, number 3, Kevin Longoria.
Of course, if you're manager Joe Madden, you're shaking the hand of Kevin Kiermaier, and you're saying, way to go. That's what we need after losing 2 straight games in the 9th inning.
That's exactly right. Kevin Kiermaier starting the day off right for the Rays. 2 kind of miscues by Blue Jays outfielders has led to a run.
Now Evan Longoria lines one deep to left field. First pitch back to the track, making the catch in front of the wall. Melky Cabrera, and now the inning is over. And through no fault to Drew Hutchison's, the Rays get a run. We go to the 2nd inning. Settle in. Great to have you with us here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's 1-0 T-Bay, brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Want to watch a game live?
The Blue Jays have a Junior Jays Saturday for you, presented by Boston Pizza. Saturday, July 19th. Rangers in town. And with those special price tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield area, come on out, kids 14 and under on the bases. A Junior Jays Saturday presented by Boston Pizza on July 19th. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Blue Jays bat in the 2nd inning. Right-hander Jake Odorizzi. This is outside ball 1 to Deanna Navarro. Navarro will be followed by Colby Rasmus and Juan Francisco. So in essence, 3 left-handed hitters. With Navarro up here batting left-handed as a switch hitter. He takes a strike 1-1. Last night, the Rays scored a run in the first inning on a sacrifice fly by Evan Longoria. Today, Matt Joyce, a first inning sacrifice fly, and again, it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. That foul ball goes off the mask of Jose Molina. And the other catcher, Navarro's bent over, hands on his knees, saying, "You okay, bud?"
He's checking that mask out. You know, those masks originally were designed. Jose Molina wears the goalie style mask, almost with an aerodynamic design, so those balls would ricochet off. But when you get it right between the eyes, you get it squarely. It's not ricocheting much, and I think Molina felt most of that one.
Jose does get beat up back there. We've seen that as a Blue Jay too, and that one rocked him good. Navarro with a 1-2 count. Odorizzi's pitch is outside. So the Blue Jays once again have been victimized by a first inning run on a sacrifice fly. Rallied yesterday, not once but twice, to win at 8-5, and see what they can do today. There's a swing and a miss. Down goes DeHonor. 1 down. Odorizzi with his first strikeout.
Center fielder, number 28, Colby Rasmus.
Colby on the road trip, and the Blue Jays are just 2-6, 1 for 15. Rasmus comes up here, hitting just .212 this year. 12 home runs, 27 RBIs, but that does pale in comparison to 71 strikeouts, only 14 walks, leading to an on-base percentage of just .268. He takes the first pitch low, ball 1. We'll take a look in the second inning on that Sportsnet out-of-town scoreboard here. As we said, 1-0 Rays. Colby swings and doesn't get it, 1-1. Cleveland's at home, trailing Chicago. That's the White Sox 2-0. That's in the top of the 5th. They're underway in Baltimore. The Orioles have won 9 of 11. They have now a 3-game lead still over the Blue Jays, 5 up on the Yanks. No score second inning at Camden Yards. Yanks and Orioles. The ball lined to center field, coming on quickly, diving headlong. He can't make the catch, Kiermaier, and the ball rolls all the way to the wall. Still rolling on the track. Colby around second. Colby digging for third. The ball now back to the infield, and Yunel Escobar, and a triple for Rasmus here with 1 out in the second. The rookie gambled and lost.
Number 47, Juan Francisco.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier gambled all right. He was electric in the bottom of the first, scoring that run for the Rays. This time maybe being a little too overzealous, trying to make the diving catch. That's the one thing as an outfielder, especially on artificial turf. If you're going to make that effort and miss, you have to at least try to get a piece of it. Kiermaier did not. That ball rolled all the way to that 404 sign, straight away center field.
A 1-out triple brings up Juan Francisco. Now the infield is in, 3 infielders between first and second, and near the third base back to hold the runner, Evan Longoria. Francisco takes outside ball 1. Surprisingly for Colby, that's just his first triple, but that also goes part and parcel with all the swings and misses and strikeouts where he doesn't give himself an opportunity for triples like we just saw.
By putting the ball in play, and that's the one thing that strikeouts do not give you that opportunity.
Francisco, it's a fly ball to medium depth left field. Brandon Guyer now moves back a little bit, fights the ball in the roof, makes the catch, tagging Rasmus. Here comes the throw. It's cut by Longoria. Colby scores, standing up. A sacrifice fly for Francisco. And the Blue Jays are in flight quickly here. They've tied the Rays 1-1.
Well, certainly a good read. Medium depth is fairly deep. Brandon Guyer catching that ball almost flat-footed back there in left field. And as soon as you see an outfielder set up like that, where he's almost caught flat-footed, not behind the ball, as he's catching the ball, he's almost reaching back a bit. That's when you know you can give it a shot, because Guyer's got to catch that ball, corral it, get some momentum. He's got nothing going into that throw from that medium depth. Rasmus scores easily.
Second sacrifice fly for Francisco. 2 down for Tallis, and the pitch is inside. And look what Francisco did, because he also is prone to the strikeout. 84 of them, leading to an on-base percentage of .303. He hit the ball to left field, going away when pitched away. The pitch is outside.
It was a good job. It was that split change from Odorizzi. The shift was on again for Juan. He did not try to just hit the ground ball, because you have to get it through the drawn-in infield. But with that left field open, he was able to stay on that baseball and drive it that way.
Tollison pops it up into shallow left. The shortstop goes back. Yunel Escobar, he's under it. Waits. He has it. The inning is over. The Blue Jays tie it up. We'll come back to that Sportsnet out-of-town scoreboard. In the meantime, for all the scores, you go to sportsnet590.ca. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Brand new game now at 1, brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ouch! When your day checks...
Double plays are a pitcher's best friend, and Schneider's and Bellagio are your taste buds' best friend. Savor the dog days of summer with Schneider's hot dogs or sausages served on fresh Bellagio buns. At the ballpark or on your barbecue, make the most of your summer. A 1-1 game. Blue Jays here in St. Pete at Tropicana Field. Rays bat in the bottom of the second. James Loney up, left-handed hitter. He takes strike one from the young right-hander, 23-year-old Drew Hutchison. Loney will be followed by Brandon Guyer and Yunel Escobar. Loney yesterday 0 for 4, drew a walk and scored. He takes it inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the Hutchison pitch foul back to the screen. This is a day, there's one birthday of significance. Ron Fairley, the redhead, turned 76. Ron Fairley had a great career that included both the Montreal Expos, where he was an all-star in 73, and the Blue Jays. There's a foul off to the right. Ron was the first ever Blue Jay all-star. He was the only one in 1977 in the first year of the franchise existence. He had a 21-year career, later a great broadcaster with the Seattle Mariners, and today 76 years old. Good friend. The pitch lined up the middle. That's a base hit into center field by Loney. And for those of you who like baseball trivia, well, here's a couple of things that maybe you can share with your friends. Number one, Ron Fairley, back in 1977, after his years with the Montreal Expos, when he came to Toronto to become a Blue Jay, he became the very first player to ever play for both Canadian franchises. And second, with his all-star selection with the Expos in 73 and the Blue Jays in 77, Joe, he's the only player ever to be an all-star for both the Expos and Blue Jays.
How about that? All by himself.
Great guy, classy. And in that year with the Blue Jays, that first year, he hit .279 with 19 home runs and 64 RBIs at the twilight of his career. Pitch is in there for a strike. I don't know if you ever got a chance to meet him.
I was about to ask you how special it was, or say how special it was to play for both Canadian teams, but then you go on to say that he was an all-star for both. What a career.
And the only one to represent both teams in the all-star game. Crowding in at third, Juan Francisco. Brandon Guyer, right-handed hitter, swings and he misses. Strike two. I don't know if you ever met Ron, but a real gentleman, and as I said, player turned broadcaster. He played or broadcast in over 7,000 games when it was all toted up.
Transitioning into broadcasting, those former players.
Yourself included. An Expo as well, where you first broke in at the major league level. Hutchison ready. And the strike two pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Now there's one today for Drew.
Shortstop, number 11, Yunel Escobar.
There are always unique little things about players. The other day, you and I had the pleasure of talking with Tim Salmon. Tim played 15 years, one career with the Angels, but he played for the California Angels, the Anaheim Angels, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He went through 3 different name changes with one franchise.
I wonder when you ask him who he played for, what he says.
There's Yunel Escobar. He swings and misses here in the second inning of a 1-1 game. That's what you love about baseball, the little idiosyncrasies, little oddities.
Very interesting whether he would say I played for 3 teams or I played for one team, called 3 different things.
Tim had an outstanding 15-year career, and you know he never, ever was selected to an all-star game. Hard to believe.
I would not have guessed that, really. He had a fine career.
He was the Rookie of the Year in 93 and just took it on from there. There's a swing and a miss by Escobar. The Tigers' Kirk Gibson never went to an all-star game. However, he was asked to go a couple of times and declined, whereas Tim Salmon was never asked, and that's what's hard to fathom.
It is. Great player, great career.
Loney at first base here in the bottom of the second inning. Escobar Yesterday, joined the club after spending time on the DL with a sore shoulder. He was 1 for 3 last night with a walk. The Hutchison pitch, just a bit low and outside, and they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Backed up at third, Francisco. You've got Reyes at short, Tollison at second, as Munenori is day-to-day with that right hamstring tightness. Bautista at first base holds on the runner Loney. Right-hander ready, kicks, delivers, a ball fouled off to the right-hand side. That'll arc just shy of the press box, where a fan makes a nice catch in the mezzanine. Escobar comes up here hitting .245, 4 home runs, line drive hitter, and the stretch. 1-2 pitch to him is in the dirt, nicely blocked by Navarro.
It's exactly where Hutchison wants that pitch. He's going to go to the breaking ball with 2 strikes, bounce it, try to get the swing from Escobar. Good job by Navarro getting down there in time to block it.
Drew has lost 4 of his last 6 starts. He's allowed 17 runs in his past 33 innings, trying to turn that around here today. He is set. Back he comes. Ball driven into right center field, but shallow. Moving over, Anthony goes, lost it at first in the roof. Now he locates it, makes the catch, throws it into second. You could see him hesitate right there, where it's a day game, basically. It's a light roof, not a dark roof, and that ball got lost up there.
The roof is pretty well white colored here at Tropicana Field, but believe it or not, just because you're playing indoors, you do forget about lights. The lights are on, and you can easily lose a ball in the lights playing indoors. Looked like Anthony was able to make the recovery.
Jose Molina comes up, Rays catcher, 2 outs, runner at first, bottom of the second inning. Blue Jays 1, Rays 1. Jose takes a strike on the inside edge. Jose yesterday was 1 for 4, a single. Couple of times struck out looking. That was with Todd Titchener behind the plate. Now Todd is going to wind down a little bit here and unwind at the same time. He's down at third. The plate umpire here, the crew chief, Mike Everett. Loney the lead at first. Jose hits one down the right field line, coming over Ghost. He's got a beat on it, and right into foul territory he goes to make the catch and end the inning. A single and nothing more through 2. Blue Jays 1, the Rays 1. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Have questions about the major leagues? You can send them online to sportsnet.ca/experts, and the answers can be heard on our Home Hardware Ask the Expert segment. That's every Friday during Baseball Central on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Blue Jays Central on Sportsnet TV. Third inning, Anthony Ghost will come up here. This is like a Junior Jays day for the Tampa Bay Rays. The only thing is, it's an 80s night. It's a special evening. They're going to have a concert afterwards. Anthony up here, and he swings and misses strike 1. So what they do, like a Junior Jays day at the Rogers Center, they have the junior celebrity, if you will, to bring up the hitters. And so what we're going to do here, the strike 1 pitch is hit down the left field side, moving over for it, Brandon Garr, and he's there, makes the catch. You guess who the celebrity is.
Now batting, shortstop, number 7, Jose Reyes.
And it wasn't a junior. This is not Junior Rays Saturday.
No, that is Joan Jett.
Blast from the past.
Now here is Jose Reyes. He popped up first time up against the right-hander Jake Odorizzi. The pitch is outside. What they should have done is have Joan introduce the Rays and put a little more life into it.
Joan saving her energy for after the game. She has to perform.
That's probably true. There's a fly ball hit into left field again. Geyer comes on for another one. Brandon makes the catch 2 away, and here's Joan again. Joan?
Now batting, left fielder, number 53, Melky Cabrera.
Now, can you imagine if her concert sounded like that? There'd be nobody here.
Come on, Joan. Put a little spunk into it.
So there you go. Over the years, the Rays have had trouble drawing, except on concert nights when they average better than 30,000. We'll see what they do here tonight. Melky Cabrera's up. He shows bunt, takes strike one in this third inning. Quick moving inning. Odorizzi at a 1-0 lead, end of one. Matt Joyce, the sacrifice fly to cash in Kevin Kiermaier's double, and he moved to third on a flyout. Then the Blue Jays tied it in the second. Melky takes a ball. With one out, Colby Rasmus tripled a sinking line drive to center, charged by Kiermaier, went by him as he dove headlong to the wall, and Juan Francisco's sacrifice fly tied it up. Melky takes it low. And you have to think, too, after that win last night, especially after Sean Rodriguez hit that 3-run home run with 2 walks aboard in the 7th to tie it at 5, the Blue Jays have to be feeling pretty good about themselves here today. There's a ground ball foul right side.
That's a big win. As we say, game 1 of the series is critical because once you win that first one, now it's a matter of winning 1 out of 2 today or tomorrow to win this series. So the Blue Jays have set themselves up in a great way here coming into Saturday.
Melky bounced out to the right side, first time up. Odorizzi's 2-2 pitch low. And just think if the reverse had been true, had the Blue Jays let that 5-1 lead get away, and people talk about a team being flat, that certainly could have happened here.
It certainly could have, and just coming on the heels of that game in Anaheim as well, to have another one get away, that would have been devastating to the Jays.
3-2 pitch hit where else? Left fielder Brandon Geyer. So the king in his court rule here in this third inning. The catch made, bottom third we go. It's the Blue Jays 1, the Rays 1. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. The injury report is brought to you by Sokolov Personal Injury Lawyers. Don't put it off. Call Sokolov. Visit areyouhurt.ca. Well, we can tell you this. Joan Jett's not hurt. She sounded pretty good there.
I think she heard us. She put a little energy into that one.
So we'll hear her in this bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 game. Drew Hutchison here to start it off with the 9th hitter. Don't let that fool you. Right-handed hitting second baseman Sean Rodriguez, who is the DH last night, hit a 3-run home run off Dustin McGowan in the 7th inning. He breaks the bat, pops it up to short, caught by Reyes, and here's Joan bringing up Kevin Kiermaier.
Batting now, playing center field, number 39, Kevin Kiermaier.
Well, she's stepped it up a half a notch anyway. But the injury report, as we said, brought to you by Sokolov Personal Injury Lawyers. Don't put it off. Call Sokolov. Visit areyouhurt.ca. Anthony Ghost, we saw in the clubhouse this morning, just in from Buffalo. Nolan Reimold yesterday pulled up lame at third base and is on the disabled list. Showing bunt is Kiermaier, left-handed hitter. He takes strike one. Ends up with a strained left calf muscle. Blue Jays couldn't take any chances here. They needed another player, and Ghost is that player. The pitch is high, so too bad for Nolan. And I know you visited with him.
Yeah, I spoke with Nolan this morning, and he's just disappointed. I mean, he's had such a disastrous past with these injuries. It was mainly regarding his surgically repaired neck.
Pitch is inside.
But then to come back from such a serious injury and to have his calf cramp up on him is basically what it was, going from second to third base yesterday.
The next pitch hit down the left field line, slicing toward the corner, slicing, dropping, and it just goes foul, shy of the yellow foul pole.
So Nolan Reimold is going to be out. He had to be put on the disabled list. John Gibbons said we couldn't go these 2 days without he and Munenori Kawasaki not available. Now John says that Kawasaki's available today if needed, but that's why Anthony Ghost was brought up. 2 pretty critical games here. Cannot go with that short of a bench.
Kiermaier broke his bat just like Rodriguez did, but Kiermaier, who doubled and scored in the very first inning, a new bat here in this at-bat third inning. Hutchison deals 2-2, and he's up and in. So that starts off the injury report. Won yesterday. They've won 9 of 11. They own the East by 3 games. There's ball 4, so Hutchison puts a lot of speed on as Kiermaier goes down to first.
First walk of the game. Apology donates $250 to the Ruth Eckerd Hall Foundation. To date, Apology has donated $23,250 for the season.
Batting now, playing right field, number 18, Ben Zobrist.
In Baltimore, right-handed pitcher Ubaldo Jimenez, and he hadn't pitched too well. Wednesday, he twisted his ankle stepping in a hole in a parking lot at his apartment. He's on the disabled list.
Away from the field.
Another freak incident. The pitch is outside. Some of these stories in the past, you've wondered what really did happen. And apparently he just did wrench his ankle in a pothole near his apartment.
Unbelievable. Hard enough to play this game on the field and stay healthy. Now guys are getting hurt at home.
And that's going to hurt the Orioles. Even though he hadn't pitched that well, there's always the hope that he's a veteran. He'll pick it up a notch, put some innings in. But now it's not going to happen for at least 2 weeks.
Well, and that's why they signed him as a free agent, to bring him over after a pretty good year last year. He just has not panned out. But as you said, veterans like that sometimes can figure it out throughout the course of the season, help his club down the stretch.
Kiermaier draws a throw, and now another one here in this bottom of the third inning. A one-out walk issued to him with Ben Zobrist up. The Blue Jays just saw the Cincinnati Reds. Second baseman Brandon Phillips yesterday had surgery on a torn left thumb ligament. He's out for 6 weeks, and the Reds just lost Joey Votto with a strained left quadriceps muscle. Another throw to first base. That's the right side of their infield.
That's a tough one. Brandon Phillips was diving for a ball to his left as a second baseman, and just the way he dove, caught the ball, and landed, that thumb can come straight down into the ground. It looked like it rolled, and sure enough, he tore a ligament, much like we talked about Yadier Molina sliding into third base feet first, but instead of having your hands up like you're taught, he had that hand down on the ground, jammed his thumb.
1-0 pitch to Zobrist is outside, and right there with Zobrist up here batting left-handed, he's a switch hitter. Kiermaier started what looked to be a lot of striding towards second for perhaps a delayed steal. The Blue Jays have to be mindful of that.
Kiermaier's got some speed, and he's going to give Hutchison fits over there. He's already, Drew's thrown over there a couple of times. There he goes again. You have to do that against a good base runner. He doesn't have a lot of stolen bases, but he will. He's got the threat to run, and that's the one thing with Kiermaier. You have to change up your holds as a pitcher. Hold the ball a little longer, pause, step off perhaps.
Drew the stretch. Kiermaier big lead, and the pitch misses. Now you're almost surprised with Kiermaier taking a big lead. Joe, you caught for 13 years. Could you put on a play where on a quick pitch inside you throw down to first?
You can, but right now the issue is Drew's falling behind hitters. He's falling behind 3-0 now to Zobrist.
And the next pitch is high, and he's walked 2 in a row here with 1 out. And Navarro to the mound.
Hutchison is missing arm side quite often. It's been happening since the first inning, even the beginning of his delivery. I'm starting to wonder if he's got a little something wrong in his delivery, because when that arm trails, you miss arm side, which is away to these left-handed batters. It can be as simple as your direction. A lot of times a pitcher, as they drive towards home plate, that head spins on him, and it goes towards the first base bag. When that head gets away from your arm, you've got separation there. That arm trails, and you'll miss up and away to those left-handed hitters. That's what it seems like Drew is doing right now.
And one just last injury, and it was Grant Balfour who afterwards said regarding his injured pride, I just didn't make the pitches. That's pretty much just awful on my part. He coughed up 3 runs in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays won at 8-5.
Well, it's one thing, at least the players being accountable and owning up. We watched it. Grant Balfour was not good last night, and he's the first to admit it.
Matt Joyce up here. Hits a little dribbler to third base. It's rolling to the bag. It's picked up on the bag by Francisco for 1. Throws to first, not in time. What a play by Juan. Out at third base as he met that ball just with his foot on the bag to just beat the sliding Kiermaier. That's a pretty nice play.
Third base, number 3, Evan Longoria.
Well, Joyce got this ball right off the end of his bat. He basically pool cued it right down that third baseline. Francisco very smartly has his foot on the third base bag for the force out. As he fields the ball, he came up firing to first to Bautista, trying to get the double play. That throw just a little offline.
You're Drew Hutchison. You need a play like that. You've already walked 2. Now he's got 2 on 2 outs for Evan Longoria. There's strike 1. This is a tough situation. He's not finished yet with Longoria. Last night, a sacrifice fly, a run batted in. That's 73 against the Blue Jays since the start of the 08 season. That's the most for any opponent against Toronto pitching. And here he is again with 2 walks on. Who hit a home run yesterday with 2 walks on? Sean Rodriguez in the Rays' 7th. There's a high fly ball deep left field, hooking down the line. It is hooking, foul. Whoa. That's what we're talking about.
And catcher Deanna Navarro was set up inside, trying to come in with the fastball to Longoria. But if you're going to come in, you cannot leave it on the inner half of the plate. You've got to get it on the inside corner or in off the plate. Again, too good a hitter at this level to miss your spot.
Now it's 0-2 on Longoria, who flied out deep to left in the first. We're in the third inning of a 1-1 tie. The runners lead. The strike 2 pitch way outside. In the first inning, Kiermaier opened with a double to third on a fly ball to center, home on the Matt Joyce sacrifice fly to center. Then Longoria flied out. In the second, with one out, Colby Rasmus triple to center, home on Juan Francisco's sacrifice fly, and we're in the bottom of the third. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball weakly hit to short. Taken by Reyes. One play, that's the first. Throw it there. The inning is over. And Hutchison escapes 2 walks. End of 3. Blue Jays won. The Rays won. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. VTech bottom of the ninth trivia challenge for your chance to win weekly VTech packs plus a trip to next year's spring training in Dunedin, Florida. Enter and play on your smartphone or online at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. Fourth inning, Blue Jays won, the Rays won. Right-hander Jake Odorizzi to Jose Bautista. He takes strike 1. Jose walked with 2 outs in the first. On deck, Dan Johnson. He would then fly out to right to end the inning. They'll both be followed by Deanna Navarro. Jose takes it low. Odorizzi is 24. We mentioned Milwaukee made him a first-round pick out of an Illinois high school back 6 years ago in 2008. And for a pretty good reason. The pitch hit on the ground to shortstop. Backhand drop by the second baseman. Throw it to first. Not in time as Rodriguez spins it into the dirt by first baseman James Loney. And there, Rodriguez is going to be charged with an error. He's playing second base, but he was on the shift on the shortstop side.
And that's what's very interesting. Rodriguez is a second baseman. So, again, I like to talk about these shifts because the second baseman is playing on the shortstop side of the bag. Sean Rodriguez just fielded a ball that he's not used to fielding and a throw that he's not used to fielding. He had to go to his right, backhand it, come up and make a throw from somewhere he will never have to make a throw from as a second baseman. So there's your pros and cons of that shift.
That's going to bring up Johnson. Dan flied out to shallow right in the first inning. Blue Jays trying to break a 1-1 tie here in this fourth inning. So the left-handed hitter against the right-hander Odorizzi, who looks back at second. And the pitch is high. Jose with a 2-base throwing error charged to Rodriguez, now in scoring position, and Johnson trying to either get him over or get him in.
And this is a good situation here for Dan Johnson, a pull-type hitter. He's got to hit something hard to the right side. He's trying to get a base hit.
Oh, we mentioned that the Brewers liked Odorizzi out of high school, and why not his senior years? Last year, he won 14 games. He pitched 90 innings. He gave up 1 run. His ERA was 0.10, and he struck out 146 in those 90 innings. There's a check swing ground ball to third. Tough play. They let it roll. Picked up by Odorizzi. No play. A base hit for Johnson. To third comes Bautista. And right now, Dan Johnson basically can do no wrong.
Well, if you didn't know any better, or those listening on radio, it looked like absolutely a perfect sacrifice bunt by Johnson, but it was not that at all. Odorizzi came inside with the fastball. It was a check swing by Johnson, and it rolled down that third base line about as perfectly as you could put it. No play for Odorizzi, and it advanced Bautista to third base.
Well, here is Navarro. DeHonor struck out to begin the second. On deck hitter Colby Rasmus then tripled to center field. A line drive coming in was Kiermaier. It skipped by and went to the fence, and Colby cashed in by Juan Francisco. Now the Blue Jays runners at first and third. Nobody out here in the fourth. Pitch is high, ball 1. It looks like Odorizzi's let that defensive play bother him a little bit.
Well, he's leaving the ball up in the zone right now, falling behind a Johnson 2-0, and then that last pitch that he did put in play was not a real good pitch either.
And here comes pitching coach Jim Hickey, maybe saying the same thing. put that past you. Now let's just relax and concentrate.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a play not made behind you, especially to start the inning, much like a walk. We talk about pitchers, those leadoff walks. But you do, exactly. You have to put that behind you and try to get the next guy. In this situation now, he's got Navarro at the plate. What he should be shooting for in this situation is a ground ball. Try to get the double play. Give up the run to the Blue Jays right now to limit the damage this inning.
So Odorizzi battling here. He was a 3-sport star in high school, and he said he learned from every sport. In basketball, he said, I learned quick feet and agility. That really helped me fielding my position on the mound. And in football, it taught me to stay centered and keep your balance. That's helped me with my windup in pitching. And there's someone who has taken full advantage of being more than just a baseball player.
Absolutely, playing a wide variety of sports. I almost liken it to cross-training. Basically, you're training all different skill sets for each different sport.
Navarro with a 1-0 count. Runners lead. Pitch on the way. That is high. And you always encourage parents, too, even with skilled players in one sport, sons, even daughters, let them play all the sports. You can't hide talent. You'll end up where you're supposed to be.
I'll guarantee you, if you pulled every player on this Major League Baseball field today, these kids all played more than just baseball in high school.
Shift on 3 infielders to the right of second. Navarro lines one up the middle. Base hit center field. Bautista scores. Scurrying up to second base quickly is Johnson. He had to wait to see if it might be caught. And the Blue Jays go out in front 2-1 here in the 4th.
Center fielder, number 28, Colby Rasmus.
Well, Gianno Navarro got himself into good hitters count. Odorizzi again fell behind. When a pitcher falls behind, there's not much else you can do but leave something in the strike zone. He left it out over the plate, and Gianno just drilled that ball right back up the middle.
So Navarro with a run batted in. That gives him 37. The Blue Jays score an unearned run. Bautista reaching on the poor throw by Rodriguez. Here's Rasmus. He takes strike 1. Colby tripled and scored, as we said, back in the second inning to tie the game at 1, offsetting Matt Joyce in his sacrifice fly to cash in Kiermaier's double back in the first. Johnson at second. He gets his lead. Navarro at first. Again, 3 infielders to the right of second. Colby on a half swing goes around. No balls and 2 strikes.
That right there is the benefit for Odorizzi of getting ahead on Rasmus with that first pitch strike. Pitching 0-1 right there. He elevated that fastball. And Colby's got a very defensive swing. Such a difference up there with an 0-1 count as opposed to that 1-0 count.
Jake looks back at second. Cuts it loose. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got it up in the zone a little bit. That's the first out of the 4th. And that wasn't an overpowering pitch either.
No, it doesn't. Odorizzi's not going to overpower you. He's going to be right around 91, 92 miles per hour. That ball was elevated a bit just above the belt of Rasmus, getting him to chase, just not able to catch up.
So here's Juan. He went the other way with a sacrifice fly to left to bring in Rasmus to tie it up in the second. We'll see what he does here with runners at first and second, 1 out, 2 innings later. Juan on the road trip just 2 for 18 with 10 strikeouts. Hits a high foul off to the left-hand side.
And that's where, because Colby Rasmus is such a pull hitter, that was a perfect situation to have him at the plate right there to get that run over to third. If he can hit something to the right side, of course you don't want him to bounce into a double play, but put the ball in play and possibly make something happen. By striking out, the runners are stuck at first and second now for Francisco.
Odorizzi ready. Look back at second. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball. Boy, he has been vulnerable to that, hasn't he?
He sure has. And that's again, if Rasmus gets a runner to third in this situation for Francisco, it puts a runner at third with less than 2 outs much more easily for Francisco to drive in a run like he did his first at bat with the sacrifice fly.
The stretch. The strike 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Odorizzi strikes out a pair to try to help himself out here. Here's Collison. And as Francisco goes back to the third base dugout, he must be wondering, okay, that was a fastball that struck me out on off-speed pitches. They're now getting him up and down in the strike zone and pitches that are strikes and pitches that go from strikes to balls.
They have attacked him, Major League Pitching, over the last month with so many breaking balls that it has to be in his head now. And now it's actually working in reverse a little bit, and we're seeing him swing through fastballs now because he's got that breaking ball in his head.
Tollefson, right-handed hitter. Pitch to Steve, hit on the ground to third base, backing up Longoria, snap a throw to second in time. Pretty play by the Gold Glove winning third baseman. And the Blue Jays settle for one unearned run. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's enough for a Blue Jays 2-1 lead here in St. Pete. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network.
WU.ca, the Power Workers Union. The people who help keep the lights on.
The latest on the Blue Jays and around the major leagues is yours when you tune into Baseball Central with your host Jeff Blair, who does a great job, and his panel of MLB experts. That's weekdays at noon on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet TV. Joan Jett sticks around until she gets it right. She brings up James Loney here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There's a big concert after the game. Jones the headliner. 2-1 Blue Jays. Just scored an unearned run off Jake Odorizzi. Blue Jays had the first three-man reach and had that run in. And then Odorizzi took over, getting Rasmussen, Francisco on strikeouts, and Tollefson on a fielder's choice ground ball. Loney, a left-handed hitter, fouls one back to the screen, strike one. Loney singled to center in the second inning. We'll take a look at that Sportsnet out-of-town scoreboard for you. Brandon Guyer on deck, and then Yunel Escobar. There's a line drive in the left center field, hit softly. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Loney flunks one in the other way, and the tying runs on just like that.
Playing left field, number 5, Brandon Guyer.
The Blue Jays will be looking at that game at Camden Yards because the Yankees and Baltimore are playing each other. Baltimore with a walk-off win. Nick Hundley, the catcher, won it in the 10th inning. The Orioles have won 9 out of 11, and they do not, underscore not, have all-star catcher and Gold Glove winner Matt Wieters. He's through for the year with surgery. There's a strike to Brandon Guyer showing bunt.
Well, the Orioles continue to find ways to win, and when you're playing a good brand of baseball, and they do that at Camden Yards, it's the friendly confines at home, and they're just finding ways, continuing to build that lead in the East.
We've got a 3-game bulge over the Blue Jays, 5 up on the Yanks. Guyer struck out first time up. He takes strike 2 on the inside corner. And I'll make that strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. First pitch called a ball. At Camden Yards, in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Yankees have an early 1-0 lead over the Orioles. But that's nothing the way Orioles have been scoring runs of late. Loney the lead at first here in the fourth. Blue Jays up 2-1. Guyer bunts, and he bunts it foul right into Navarro. That one got him pretty good, and Navarro bounces up and feels like Jose Molina did a couple of innings ago.
Once again, it looks like the foul tip missed the equipment of Deoner Navarro. He's going to take a walk down to Jose at first base to try to shake this one off. It's a foul tip, and it looked like they got him right in the midsection.
Yeah, that was painful. So Navarro will don the mask. He's got his 2 sons here with him. We met them yesterday, cute kids, and now they're saying to themselves in the stands, we're not going to be like Daddy and catch.
Dad, what's wrong? Who would ever go back there and put that equipment on?
Well, Joe Siddle is one.
You know, all the injuries aside and those foul tips, Jerry, it's still the best position in all of sports. I'll go to argue with anybody on that one.
I know you did it well for 13 years professionally. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Guyer. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And, Joe, you caught for the Expos, the Marlins, the Tigers. And I'm happy to hear you say that because with all that goes with catching, I know you enjoyed it, and I can see the passion and love you have for the game because of it.
It is, absolutely. It is such a different perspective of the game. But I believe it's a position of all sports that you are in the play every single pitch. And you have a lot to do with every single pitch because you're working with that pitcher and calling the game. But absolutely best position on the field.
So Hutchison with a couple of strikeouts, both against Guyer. Here's Yunel Escobar. 2-1 Blue Jays in the Rays' fourth inning. 1 on, 1 out. You now pops it up foul. First base side may be playable. Moving over Bautista. Navarro's there, and they lean in over the railing, but it hits just beyond their outstretched grasp and goes back into the crowd. Well, how about Navarro? He gets drilled on that foul ball, and he sprinted over there like a track star. Good for him.
He went over and gave bench coach Dave Martinez a big hug, pretending he was diving into the stands. Dave got a little chuckle.
The White Sox are in Cleveland, 7th inning, leading Cleveland 3-0. Navarro giving Martinez a big bear hug. Martinez cowered away from that.
That ball landed on the roof of the dugout, but Dave Martinez wasn't really looking at the baseball. He was watching Gianner. Could have gotten that in the top of the head.
0-1 on you now. Infield looking for a double play ground ball. Out of the stretch, the Hutchison pitch outside. And we've told this story before. It's worth retelling regarding Dave Martinez, longtime bench coach here with the Rays. Came to Toronto, played in a doubleheader. First game with the Rangers. In the second game, as a Blue Jay, he was traded in the middle of the doubleheader. Hit a 3-run home run in that first game he ever played in the second game of that doubleheader. Toward a 21-game hitting streak to start his career as a Toronto Blue Jay. Dave Martinez. Ground ball through the left side by Unell. That's a base hit out of the left. Up to second base goes Loney, and the Rays down 2-1 in the fourth have 2 on, 1 out for Jose Molina.
Well, this was a fastball away to Escobar, and it stayed on the inner half of the plate. Hutchison is really fighting his delivery today. I'm just not seeing that consistent delivery, that crispness that he normally has. The strikeout of Geyer on the slider made it look to me like he was getting that release point back out front where he wanted to be, but it's still just not there, and he's still fighting that command.
Well, here's Molina. Jose flied out to right, first time up, bottom of the fourth inning. Loney at second, Escobar at first, 1 out from the stretch. And the right-hander's pitch moves outside. The Red Sox are in Houston. That's in the top of the fourth inning at Minute Maid Park. The Astros with a 2-1 lead over the Boston Red Sox. And out of spring training, if you would have said on July the 12th the Red Sox would be virtually in last place, just a game ahead of Tampa Bay, 42-51. A lot of people would have said no way. There's a strike called. Or that the Astros would be in fourth place on this date and a half a game ahead of the Texas Rangers. Again, they would have been emphatic and would have said no way.
Texas Rangers have been absolutely depleted, of course, by injuries, and they've been hit all over the field, probably more than any team in baseball.
The pitch looped into center field, shallow, coming on. Rasmus coming on, dives headlong, can't make the play. A base hit. The ball rolls toward the infield. Around third, Loney. He's heading for the plate. He's going to go in there standing up. This game is tied at 2. Molina back to first base. Escobar ends up at third.
Well, Colby Rasmus did everything he could. It was just a blooper into shallow center field. We saw the Rays' Kevin Kiermaier do it against Rasmus earlier. The ball got by him and all the way to the wall. The one thing Rasmus did right here is when he dove for this baseball, he got the glove up, knew he wasn't going to catch it, made sure that he stopped the ball. The only problem is when it hit his glove, he actually pushed it forward far enough so that the run could score.
So it's deadlocked at 2. John Rodriguez up, right-handed hitter. Pitch on the way to him outside. Stunning down from third was Escobar. Rodriguez takes the ball 1, and Rodriguez has a couple of sacrifice bunts, so this is an option here for Joe Madden if he so chooses to try to drop a bunt down here with 1 out in this Rays fourth inning.
Well, if Rodriguez tries to bunt, he may try to bunt for a base hit to get Escobar home, but with Molina on first base, this is a good double play opportunity for the Jays.
There's a foul off to the right-hand side. The Cardinals lead Milwaukee 6-0. That's just in the third inning at Miller Park. Miami 1, Mets 0 at Citi Field. That's in the third inning. For all the scores, go to sportsnet590.ca. Each team with a run here in the fourth inning. Hutchison set. There goes Molina. The pitch bunted up along first base. They'll let it roll foul. Escobar would have scored And there's your bunt right there. Molina saw the sign. He was taking off to try to avoid being doubled up.
They had a lot going on right there. Molina going on the pitch. It's almost a bunt and run instead of a hit and run. So they put Molina in motion. If Rodriguez just gets that bunt down in fair territory, it's a run for the Rays.
And when you bunt that way, Joe, as a right-handed hitter, the ball's coming off your bat with a spin on it, and it's going to work its way left to right. That's where it was too fine a bunt.
Yeah, too fine. You won't want to get that near the line. If you're bunting for a base hit, that's fine to try to make it perfect near the first or third base line. But in this situation, you get a slow runner like Molina in motion. It will not be a double play. Just get the bunt down in fair territory, and Escobar will score easily.
Rodriguez popped to short, first time up, 1 out. Runners lead at the corners. The 1-2 pitch, half swing, doesn't go around, throw down to third. Escobar back in without it play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Interesting to note for Drew Hutchison, 22 innings pitched this year after the Jays have scored in previous innings. The very next inning, a shutdown inning. He has had 18 of 22, but this now marks the 5th time that the Jays have scored for him, and in the very next half inning he's given up at least 1 run. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out, or should we say Rodriguez struck himself out on that pitch in the dirt.
That was a good slider by Hutchison. He got it down and away where he wanted to, but he got the swing, which is key, and that goes back to Rodriguez. His inability to get that bunt down in fair territory. It's a fundamental game. If Rodriguez gets the bunt down, it's an easy run and a lead for the Rays. Instead, Hutchison gets the strikeout.
And a good job by Navarro. Look at the execution to block that pitch in the dirt.
Perfect technique. Anticipating that breaking ball being in the dirt when you call it, and he got down to both knees, and we often see a catcher getting down to maybe one knee and trying to glove that ball. Gets down to both knees and just lets that ball go right off the chest protector and glove.
Blue Jays 2, Rays 2 here in the Tampa Bay 4th inning. First pitch swinging. Kevin Kiermaier, the left-handed hitter, fouls one back to the screen. And right away, the catcher, Deanna Navarro, looks right at home plate umpire Mike Everett to see if he's okay. He was rocked with that pitch. Now the Rays trainer comes out as well, and you can tell Navarro's got a good rapport with the umpires, and they all take a beating back there, but Navarro's got that sensitivity like, are you okay? And they're looking now at the jaw bone of Everett after that pitch rocked him right there on the mask.
A lot of times that's what will happen. It'll be your upper jawbone almost close to your ears when you get it straight on, or especially up under. It looked like this time Mike Everett may have gotten this ball almost up underneath the mask, and when you get that, it's almost like that boxer's punch underneath on the chin, and you feel it right in your jaw up there by both ears.
So Everett is talking to the trainer, and that's good, and the trainer working with him here. They're looking at the man hitting center fielder. He looks it over, strike 2 called. So it's 0-2 on Kiermaier, who doubled and scored in the first inning. Came home from third on a sacrifice fly by Matt Joyce. Walked in the third, but was left there. And now here in the 4th inning, a chance to give the Rays a lead. The strike 2 pitch is high. One young pitcher against one young hitter.
Good pitch right there by Hutchison after going down in the zone, getting the strike call from Everett at the knees, trying to elevate the fastball. You can see the glove of Deanna Navarro up in the zone, trying to get him to chase.
Again, the runners at the corners lead. The runner goes from first to second. The pitch is low, and guess who just stole second base? Jose Molina. And the crowd roaring here as a result. That's his second one already this season.
He's going to pick up the base and raise it over his head in a minute. He's getting a standing ovation.
Well, he's at second now. Escobar's at third. One hit could perhaps drive home 2. And with the speed of Molina, that'd be pretty easy, you'd think. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. It all becomes a moot point, and Hutchison leaves a couple on, giving up the tying run. We go to the 5th inning. A very interesting game, to be sure. The Blue Jays 2, the Rays 2. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Time for the Toronto area Ford dealers' 5th inning game recap, bringing you up to speed. Get the standard features you expect and some you don't. Get more in a Ford from your Toronto area Ford dealers. Visit TorontoFordDealers.ca for details. And the details are these. First inning, the Rays went ahead on a sacrifice fly by Matt Joyce. Blue Jays tied it up in the second on a sacrifice fly by Juan Francisco, cashing in a Colby Rasmus triple. Each team scored, and they just concluded fourth. Diana Navarro singling home Jose Reyes, who had reached on an error. And then the Rays tied it up as Jose Molina singled home James Loney from second. And it's 2-2 here as we go to the top of the fifth. Anthony goes up, shows bunt, bunts it up along the first base side. Fielded by the pitcher. He throws it to first base just in time. Close play. And those are the efforts you love to see from young Anthony Gose.
Nice effort right there by Gose. And you talked about the athleticism of Jake Odorizzi, and he showed it here, bouncing off that mound, getting his feet set, threw from about a 3/4 angle, but nice job by James Loney there catching the ball. It was into the runner just a bit.
Those are the kind of bunt attempts that will lead later to base hits and to improve Anthony's overall game.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to start the inning for Anthony Gose. That's very close to being a base hit.
Reyes up, takes strike one.
That has to be part of his game, especially with his speed and the part that he does not like about it. He says because the fielders are so good, it's hard. He's told me it's difficult to bunt for a base hit.
Reyes looks it over low.
But the sooner he understands that that's got to be part of his game, and even right there, as you just mentioned, he bunted, tried for a base hit. They made a good play on him, and he's out. But now every at-bat, the third baseman, the first baseman, even the second baseman have to be able to honor that.
Reyes fouls one off to the right, and 2 points to be made. Number one, he didn't tip his hand. This was better. He went to Buffalo, worked on it a little bit. Instead of just showing it early, he showed it late. And number two, this is on turf. If that same ball is on grass, he's going to beat it out.
Exactly. And on the turf, I think that what he wanted to do there is get it past the pitcher.
A foul off to the left by Reyes.
If he can get that ball bunted a little bit harder past the pitcher, it gets into that little triangle where the pitcher is chasing, first baseman's coming, and the second baseman's coming, and then he beats everybody to the bag.
He is truly a work in progress. He does not turn 24, does Anthony, until August. And he could be a very, very, very good player. We'll see. The pitch is fouled off down the right-hand side, and you could just tell maturing. Sometimes his own worst enemy. He tends to be glass half empty. If he flips that to glass half full, he's on his way toward eventually glass overflowing, and that's where we'd all love to be.
Well, he sure would, and you're realizing what a difficult game this is to play.
Reyes fouls another one back.
As a hitter, you realize that defense is out there, and they're very good at what they do also, and I think that's what Anthony, the battle he's fighting and trying to bunt for base hits, as he continues to talk about how good they are and how hard it is. But if he continues to work on that craft, it can be a weapon for him.
Reyes pops one up into shallow right field, coming on the right fielder, and sliding is Zobrist. He can't make the play. Base hit, heading for second. Reyes to throw the tag by Unell. He's out at second base. And Reyes is going to say no. Come and review that one. Escobar took that short hop throw, and Reyes and Escobar are actually having their own personal review of that play right now.
Escobar's telling Reyes, go ahead and get on your phone. You'll see.
Zobrist came in, tried to make a sliding catch and couldn't quite pull it off. Reyes broke out of the box and then saw that possibility of stretching that into a double. He took off. John Gibbons is not going to go on Reyes' recommendation. He's looking into the dugout, and the command post says salvutera to DeMarlo Hale. Take a look at it.
Well, it's a good play all around. It's a good play by Jose Reyes to go ahead and try for two on this. Once that ball landed, Zobrist did not come up with the ball, but the second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, is the one that was going out for that ball as well. As soon as it landed, he didn't even break stride. Got that ball and basically made like an off-balance throw and fired at one short hop to the shortstop, Unell Escobar.
So Reyes dove for the bag. Escobar made the catch, and when he went to make the tag on that right elbow, was the left hand on the bag. I think he's going to be out.
I think he's going to be out as well, and the call on the field, of course, is out. So they need convincing evidence to show that the tag was not made. It looked like the glove of Escobar got onto that wrist, the right forearm wrist area of Reyes before it got to the base.
It sure did, and if nothing else, as the fans see it on replay, the call will stand as is, and Reyes is smiling. But this is again, and tomorrow on our manager show with John Gibbons, we're going to talk about this, his assessment of the first half regarding video replay, things that he'd like to see adjusted, things that he thinks needs review. Things that he likes, things that he doesn't like.
Well, and there's been calls that have been missed. There's no question about that. So I think the idea, again, the intent with the replay system in Major League Baseball is working in that regard to get the right call, at least most of the time. We've seen over 40% of the challenged calls have been overturned. So it tells you that it is working. The system is working. I think most managers of baseball would just like to see a more efficient system. That's what could be tweaked in the second half.
And he is out. So Reyes bumps knuckles there with Escobar. And I think managers, too, and we'll ask John about this tomorrow, how much do you have to be aware of the emotion of your players who are umpiring now as well as playing?
Exactly. Most players are going to be biased. The runners are going to think they're safe. Your fielder will think you have them out. But John went out there and he got the notion from his dugout, from Sal Butera inside, that yes, it's worth challenging. And I'm sure if Sal's inside, he saw a quick look saying, gosh, that was awfully close. Sure, we'll challenge.
So John has lost his challenge now for the rest of the game. Here's Melky Cabrera, 0 for 2. We're in the top of the 5th inning, 2 quick outs now. Blue Jays 2, the Rays 2. And give not only Zobrist not the credit, but the fielding play by Sean Rodriguez to back him up. There's a hard hit ball down the left field side foul. Rodriguez sprints out. He didn't take anything for granted. He raced by Zobrist, picked it up, and then on a bounce, give Unell the rest of the credit for making a great short hop and tag.
It was a great play all around. I have no problem with Jose Reyes trying to get 2 on that.
Melky takes high.
That's one of those good aggressive base running errors. That's not really even an error or a mistake. It's just a good aggressive base running. You force them to make a great play. Sean Rodriguez made an outstanding play, picking up that ball, throwing off balance and one hop to Unell Escobar.
Melky swings and he misses. Strike 3. Odorizzi comes out of the inning 1-2-3 with the help of Rodriguez and Escobar. Bottom of the 5th we go. Still Blue Jays 2, the Rays 2. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Fans, submit your questions online at sportsnet.ca/experts. Have them answered on our Home Hardware Ask the Expert segment. That's every Friday during Baseball Central on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and on Sportsnet's Blue Jays Central. A 2-2 tie here. Rays bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. Right-hander Drew Hutchison misses inside to Ben Zobrist. The switch hitting right fielder up here batting left-handed has flied out and walked. Matt Joyce and Evan Longoria to follow. Hutchison in with a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rays with runs in the 1st and 4th. Blue Jays runs in the 2nd and 4th as well. Shift on for Zobrist. He fouls one right down below us. Jeff Whipple off to our right is filling in for Scott Carson on the television side. Scott does a great job. Gets a few well-deserved days off. A statistician par excellence. And Jeff is filling in this weekend, doing a nice job. They're to our right with Matt Devlin and Pat Tambler. The pitch is low. And Jeff brought to our attention this morning, and the Rays have a great farm system. Andrew Friedman does a terrific job as their general manager. The Rays on their 25-man roster have only 6 players originally drafted by the Rays. That would surprise a few people, what with all the great players they've drafted, signed, and cultivated here. And used as trade bait, too. There's strike 3 called. Down goes Zobrist. 1 down, and here's Matt Joyce. Those 6 players are pretty good players, too. David Price is pitching here tomorrow, unless he's unable to get through that stomach virus. Evan Longoria, they were both first-round picks. Price in 07 and Longoria the year before. Alex Cobb, pretty good-looking young pitcher right here for Tampa Bay. Jeremy Hellickson was the Rookie of the Year in 2011. Desmond Jennings, their center fielder, and Kevin Kiermaier filling in for him. There's a strike call to Matt Joyce. So those are impact players right there, especially Price and Longoria. Hellickson, Rookie of the Year. So we were wondering, what about the Blue Jays and their 25-man roster playing here today against the Rays in this 2-2 tie 5th inning? Pitch is outside. Well, the Blue Jays have 8 originally signed players, but only 1 player, and he's on the DL. That's Adam Lynn. All the rest are pitchers. 1-1 pitch is high. Those would be Brett Cecil, Drew Hutchison pitching today, Casey Jansen, Aaron Luke, Chad Jenkins, Dustin McGowan, and Marcus Stroman. 7 pitchers, and Adam. The pitch is high to Joyce. And really, if you're going to win, you're so dependent on those draft picks. Are they impact players? How do you use them both on your own 25-man roster, and how do you use them to acquire other players? It's just an interesting look at both teams here today. As we speak, the pitch is fouled off by Joyce, 3-2.
You have to draft well, because when you draft well, you have players either come up through your system and make an impact at the major league level, or you use them as trade chips, much like the Oakland A's just did, trading a couple of top prospects for 2 key arms in Samardzija and Hemmel.
Joyce hits a little pop up to third with a shift on long run for Francisco. Races over, makes the catch. That's Jose Reyes. Francisco is on the other side. And so Reyes, the shortstop, runs it down. I'm not sure if Francisco could have gotten there.
That's a tough play no matter what alignment they're in defensively. But Reyes was able to get that ball. He had a long ways to go from his shortstop position into foul territory.
I always remember, too, when the Boston Red Sox won their 2 World Series, their draft picks included the likes of John Lester and Jonathan Papelbon, Jacoby Ellsbury, Clay Buchholz, Dustin Pedroia. The list was endless for them regarding not just first-round picks or second or third or fourth as a pitch outside the Longoria, but the impact they had on those years.
And they have to be able to contribute at the major league level. And as I said, even if they don't make it to the major leagues with your organization,
there's a strike call.
They have to be good enough players, top prospects that you can utilize to acquire what you need at the major league level to win now. And that's the situation most organizations that have success that they're in.
A 2-2 tie here in St. Pete, 5th inning. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Those were the years that young general manager Theo Epstein was doing so well with the Red Sox and those impact draft picks. He's been with the Cubs for a number of years. They're still struggling. The time will tell how Theo impacts that team.
And I looked at the Oakland A's when we were there last week. A lot of their players coming via trade.
A foul ball.
They've traded for them, but what that is, number one, it's good scouting that you've identified talent that you're going to receive in the trade, but you also have to have those trade chips to give away to get something good in return. You don't give away bad players and get good players. It's got to be good for both sides. The Oakland A's have been very successful at identifying that talent.
Hutchison back to Longoria. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The inning is over, and Hutchison with half a dozen strikeouts. Through 5, Hutchison battling Jake Odorizzi. A 2-2 tie here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Top of the 6th inning. The Blue Jays, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Rays, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. With Jose coming up here and Edwin Encarnacion on the DL. Jose's your home run leader for the Blue Jays with 17. And regarding home run leaders in the update, pick up your Rawlings equipment at Home Run Sports with locations in Mississauga, London, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton. Home Run Sports, locally owned with over 25 years of experience. For info on all of your favorite Rawlings products, visit homerunsports.com. Jose takes strike 1, starting the 6th inning off the right-hander, 24-year-old Jake Odorizzi. Jose has reached on an error and scored. He takes it outside. In the bottom of the 1st inning, Kevin Kiermaier stretched a single into a double. Anthony Gose was just careless coming in to pick up that base hit, and Kiermaier picked his pocket and ended up with a double instead of a single. A pitch fouled off to the left. Then Ben Zobrist hit a fly ball to medium depth center field, and Colby Rasmus came in and made a very poor throw to third. And that put Kiermaier at third, setting up Matt Joy's sacrifice fly. So the Rays capitalized on not 1 but 2 outfield mistakes. The pitch is high. In the 2nd inning with 1 out, Rasmus helped atone for his poor throw. He tripled and came home on Francisco's sacrifice fly. Then Bautista reached a throwing error by Sean Rodriguez on his ground ball, and he came in on a single to center by Navarro. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jose. Odorizzi takes care of him. And the Rays just tied it in the bottom of the 4th inning as Jose Molina single home James Loney to tie it at 2. And here we are in the 6th inning as Bautista fans on a high fastball.
Here's that elevated fastball I talked about earlier in the game from Jake Odorizzi. He will do that after the off speed gets Jose to chase.
5 for Odorizzi. Hutchison has struck out 6. 2 young arms in the game. Dan Johnson up, and he takes ball 1. Johnson has flied out and had an infield hit to third. He looks it over. It's a strike on the inside corner. Enjoyed your interview, Joe, with him before the game, and Dan's a good guest. He talks openly about a lot of different areas. The pitch is on the outside corner, strike two. And he made one comment that I'm going to ask him about later on. When you asked him about shifts, he said, I see shifts now, and I see where my singles used to be. There's a swing and a miss. He's gone on strikes. The interesting question will be, he obviously sees the value in shifts because it's taken away from his offense. And do they shift in AAA Buffalo?
Good question, and I think he was referring to the fact that they were, and he was saying that it's harder to hit. It's just very difficult to hit when you know that you are a pull-type hitter and they load up that side of the infield. I did not ask him that question, but my interpretation through that was that he did. That would be a good one for him.
So 2 outs here on strikeouts. It's almost like anything else in the game of baseball, or in life for that matter. There's strike one to Navarro. It's a matter of percentages. And really, if the percentages were even 55-45, the shift takes away outs, you use it.
And that's why
it takes away base hits, I beg your pardon, you use it.
That's why teams are employing it. This is what the numbers show. And I remember talking to Luis Rivera and Tim Leeper about that on the Blue Jays side. There's a reason why they do it. That's because that's what the numbers dictate. The issue I have is I have an issue with the numbers because there's so many variables. What was the pitcher throwing that day? How was he throwing?
Strike two pitch, and the fan made a great catch down below. That was a roar you heard. So it's still 0-2 on Navarro.
And you take into account the pitch itself. What pitch is the pitcher throwing? Where's the location of the pitch? I think there's so many variables in baseball that alters those numbers that I'm really not sure it shows this strong a support for the shifts that we see.
The pitch is fouled back, and yet about 3 years ago there were something like 2,500 shifts in Major League Baseball. This year the pace is toward 14,000.
And I think that's just a direct reflection of where the game is changing. They're hiring people now to study that data.
Navarro takes it low here with 2 outs in the 6th inning of a 2-2 tie.
There's people in organizations now. That's what they do. They track the data. They chart it all. Everything is documented, and that's what the numbers say. But as I said, I know a lot of old-time managers, the Joe Maddens of the world, and others will say you have to go with your gut as well.
Pitch is outside. It sounded like Dan, for me anyway, was saying the shifts are taking away my singles.
It is, and that's why I do believe it's harder to hit now, because when you see shifts on, just like we see for Deanna right now, and most of his balls do go that way, it's tougher to get hits.
He fouls one back, and it looks like in earnest he's putting a good swing on, trying to maybe drive one through the left side where there are only 3 players as opposed to 4.
And most players do know that. Deanna, I've talked to him about that. He will really try to stay inside the ball and stay up the middle, not just with the shifts, but because he knows he's a better hitter that way.
He waits the 2-2 pitch and lines at the first, picked off the dirt with a short hop by James Loney. He takes it to the bag, retires Navarro with a good play, and the inning is over. So 2 strikeouts and a 1-hopper hit down to first ends the Blue Jays 6th inning. Bottom half we go. Blue Jays 2, the Rays 2. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Summer Friday Fan Festival presented by Bacardi's coming up Friday, July the 18th. That's right after the All-Star break. First game in the second half. Blue Jays host the Rangers. Come down to the Rogers Center early. Check out the pregame festivities happening outside Gate 10. Win great prizes, enjoy the live music at a licensed area. Gates open at 4:30, so tickets available by calling the Blue Jays or online at bluejays.com. A Summer Friday Fan Festival presented by Bacardi. Bottom 6th we go here. The Blue Jays 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Rays 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. James Loney, left-handed hitter against starter and right-hander Drew Hutchison. Loney takes a pitch that bounces to the plate, ball 1. On that Sportsnet out-of-town scoreboard, top of the 6th inning at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Yankees 1, Orioles 0. The Yanks trying to stop the Orioles express. They've won 9 of 11. The Yanks come in 5 back. Blue Jays in second place, 3 back. There's a ball fouled off third base side. The White Sox are in Cleveland, leading Cleveland 3-1. That's in the top of the 8th inning. Boston with a 6th inning score in Houston, trailing the Astros 2-1. The Red Sox come in here 9.5 behind Baltimore. The Rays in last place, 10.5 back. Hutchison in with a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cardinals in the 5th inning in Milwaukee lead the Brewers 6-0. The Brewers have hit the skids. Milwaukee's lost 6 in a row, 9 of 10. The pitch is low. Milwaukee's lead is down to 1 game over the Cardinals. Here they come. In Cincinnati, a game and a half back. It wasn't that long ago that the Blue Jays entertained the Brewers. The Brewers came into Toronto back on Tuesday, July the 1st, with a 6.5 game lead in that Central Division. Ground ball foul right side, how quickly it can dissipate.
A tough loss for the Brewers last night against the Cardinals. So the Cardinals closing fast in that NL Central Division.
Miami and the Mets are deadlocked at 2, 6th inning at Citi Field. For all the scores, go to sportsnet590.ca. It's 2-2 here as well. Loney starting the 6th inning. Pitch on the way is low. Drew at 87 pitches.
Hutchison had a good 5th inning, couple of strikeouts last inning, catching Ben Zobrist looking on that real good fastball in, and then the slider to Longoria getting him chased to end the inning. As I said, not as sharp as the Drew that we've seen earlier this year, but that 5th inning was better. We'll see if he can carry it over into the 6th.
He is high, ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk to Loney. Drew has struck out half a dozen. That walk there, his 3rd.
Number 5, Brandon Guyer.
Guyer has struck out twice, right-handed hitting left fielder. The Blue Jays will play it straight up. Reyes at short, Collison at second, in and over toward the bag. Crowding in at 3rd, Francisco expecting maybe a bunt. Guyer can bunt. Guyer has 5 sacrifice bunts to lead the Rays.
Francisco coming very shallow at 3rd.
The pitch to Guyer popped up first base side. That's going to get out of play.
Not a good feeling as a third baseman when you're creeping in like Francisco is. He's very shallow playing the bunt, and Guyer takes a full hat.
That's when you check your dental plan.
Oh, jeez.
Francisco will stay in. 0-1 on Guyer. Bautista holds on the runner Loney at first. High leg kick, strike 1, pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2, and now Juan says nuts to this, and he starts to back up.
Backing it up now with 2 strikes, but it's not fun for a third baseman to be told to play shallow, play in for the potential bunt. You see that hitter swinging away. Again, Hutchison missing with that high fastball. That was not an elevated fastball by design like he does sometimes with 2 strikes. He may do it now, but that one was supposed to be down and away, and again missing, just like the ball for Loney, up in the zone.
Drew ready. And the strike 2 pitch just off the plate. That's a pretty good 0-2 pitch, isn't it?
That's where you want to be, just off that outside corner. And what's better about that pitch is for Hutchison to be able to get it there. That's the pitch he's been struggling with as a right-handed batter or right-handed pitcher. If you can get it glove side like that away to the right-hander, that's a good slot, good release point. That's where you want to be with all of your pitches. So you have to have that down if you're going to be able to throw your slider and other pitches for strikes as well.
Loney back to the bag on a throw by Hutchison. Blue Jays 2, Rays 2 here in St. Pete, bottom of the 6th inning, nobody out. A leadoff walk to contend with by Hutchison. He's ready. And the 1-2 pitch is high. Bullpen still quiet down the left field line. Drew now at 92 pitches. And he's just 5+ innings in. He piled up more than 60 pitches just to try to get through 4 innings.
Yeah, he just has not been as sharp as we've seen him. He was able to get out of a couple of innings. That 3rd inning, after walking a couple, he was able to get a couple ground balls to get out of it. In the 4th inning, he was able to get the strikeout of Kiermaier to get out of it with just the 1 run.
A foul off to the right, and as we speak now, the bullpen will stir down the left field line. Jay Happ, who's not going to start tomorrow, in deference to R.A. Dickey pitching with the regular 4 days rest. Dickey's scheduled to face David Price. That makes Happ available to pitch before the All-Star break, and he's the one who's going to start to get loose. The stretch. And the 2-2 pitch drilled to left field. That's a base hit by Guyer. Over to picking it up Cabrera. Stopping at second, Loney. And the Rays have 2 on with nobody out. Joining Happ in the bullpen as well now is a right-hander, Sergio Santos.
Number 11, Yunel Escobar.
Well, Hutchison left that 2-2 slider out over the plate to Guyer, and he dropped the head on it, lining it into left field, just what a right-handed batter should do. not the good, sharp slider that Hutchison is striving for.
Well, here comes Pete Walker to give those relievers some time, and Hutchison might be close to facing his last hitter. While we have a moment, it was on this day in 2005. They had the home run derby in Detroit at Comerica Park. Bobby Abreu shatters the record for a single round, the championship round, and the grand total as well for all 3 rounds by hitting 41 home runs in that derby in every part of Comerica Field. He had 24 home runs in the first round, 6 in the second, 11 in the championship round. And you touched upon this, Joe, earlier. You were the catcher for those home runs.
I probably had the best view of those home runs. It was a lot of fun being down in your crouch to see a ball leave the bat and just disappear into orbit, most of them into right center field.
You must have been in awe.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun that night. There was 2 of us catchers because it was such a long night. Todd Maulding, the other bullpen catcher for the Tigers at the time, was the main guy. And, of course, they just needed an extra body and asked me if I wanted to take part. So, of course, I gladly did.
What a thrill for you. Here's Escobar. He grounds one foul third base side. And for Abreu to do that and pretty much set the standard, it's good for him. And that whole all-star activity then, the home run derby, must have been a blast for you.
It is. It's a long night, actually, and I see that they've shortened it this year, but it's a lot of fun for all the all-stars to be out watching their colleagues and co-workers there, the other players throughout the league, but to see all of those stars gathered in one place, that was a lot of fun.
And for you to be schmoozing with them, I'm sure your kids thought, Dad, look at you.
Pretty cool. It was nice.
Here it's 2-2 in the Rays' 6th inning. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. And speaking of, talked to John Gibbons this morning about Jose Bautista, who's not only the captain but going to participate in the home run derby, and he's fine. And John is okay for him to swing the bat in that home run derby. Escobar breaks the bat, fouls one off to the right. Mentioned to John about that at bat we saw in Anaheim where he twisted his back in about the 6th inning and seemed to bother him that entire plate appearance. And John said, no, he's fine, and I'm good for him to go in that area.
Yeah, Jose said he could play outfield right now if he needed to, but the situation with it is the way Nolan Reimold was in right field. Now he's hurt and Anthony Gose is up. Jose's going to stay at first, but this keeps him on that dirt too. Remember, at Tropicana Field, that's not artificial turf all throughout the field like it is at Rogers Center. So playing first base all day, he's actually standing out on the dirt. A little break from that artificial turf.
Unell is fly down to right and single on the ground to left. Hutchison here in a jam. 0-2 the count, but 2 on, nobody out. Rays trying to break a 2-2 tie here in their home half of the 6th inning. The runners lead. Loney at second, Geyer at first. The pitch inbound, low and outside, blocked nicely by Navarro. So with the visit by Walker and Hutchison here taking a lot of time, it appears now that both Happ, the left-hander, and Santos, the right-hander, are ready. Now, Drew's at 97 pitches, and we'll see what John Gibbons does here after Hutchison tries to dispose of Escobar. The runners lead, and the 1-2 pitch, that is high.
That fastball was high by design. Gianna Navarro holding the glove up, trying to get Escobar to chase. He does not. That evens the count now at 2-2.
On deck, Jose Molina. Loney drew a leadoff walk. Geyer single. They're both on the stretch. Hutchison to his hitter. Outside, ball 3, and now it's 3-2. So his next pitch will be his 100th and maybe his last. We'll see.
We'll see, and we'll also see if Joe Madden puts the runners in motion here. I doubt he will with nobody out and James Loney on second base. Not a lot of speed.
Reading Navarro, Hutchison is ready. Look at the runners. They do not go. 3-2 pitch. That is high. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So John Gibbons in conversation on his left elbow with pitching coach Pete Walker. And John Gibbons asked his catcher thought to go out there and talk just a little bit. The pitchers are pretty much ready in the bullpen. And John here's going to let Hutchison fend for himself. It's more a defensive alignment than anything.
Yeah, he's just clearing up with his infielders. He wants Jose Bautista at first base to come home on a ground ball. It's a potential double play. Again, Molina, a great candidate. You certainly don't want to give up a run. It is the 6th inning, but if it means 2 outs for a run at this point, you may have to.
Molina, good bunter as well. Swing and a miss, strike one.
The middle of the infield will play back. Tollison at second, Reyes at short. So a ground ball in the middle of the infield. They'll try to turn two, take the 2 outs despite giving up the run to the Rays.
Jose has flied out and then singled to center to knock in a run to tie the game at 2 back in the 4th inning. That's still the score here in the 6th. Bases loaded, nobody out. Loney at third, Geyer at second, Escobar at first. They pinch in at the corners. The strike one pitch, that's there. Strike 2 called. 2 grand slams for Molina in his career, but his average in his long career, 189. That's it.
Tough call for John Gibbons right here. Hutchison clearly struggling a little bit, fighting that delivery, but he's keeping him in the ball game. He's saying this is your game right now.
Andrew is ready. The runners lead. The strike 2 pitch, that is high.
Not an easy situation for a reliever to come into either. Bases loaded, nobody out. So you weigh the pros and cons, and Gibbons clearly talking to Pete Walker feels that this is the best opportunity. Hutchison facing the catcher, Jose Molina.
Jose is hit into 5 double plays. He waits a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
That was the slider again. Hutchison was able to get it down in the dirt after elevating the fastball. Again, a good pitch sequence by Gianno Navarro, putting down the fingers. And Hutchison executes the pitch, gets Molina to chase.
And how about John Gibbons staying with Hutchison? These are moments where you have to have them as a young pitcher to go to the next level.
And I think that a lot of the decision right there has to do with Hutchison. Even though he's struggling a little bit, I think John Gibbons and Pete Walker liked the matchup right there of Hutchison against Molina because he is a strikeout candidate with the slider of Hutchison.
Now we'll see what John does here as pinch hitter Cole Figueroa, a left-handed hitter, is going to come up here. Bat for second baseman Sean Rodriguez. Jay Happ is in the bullpen. That's your left-handed presence right there. So we'll see what happens here in this 2-2 tie in the 6th inning.
But here's the thing. If you want to go to the lefty Jay Happ right here, there's a lot of issues because, number one, command and control problems are issues for Happ on occasion. Number two, he's coming out of the bullpen, which he has done before, but he's been in the starting rotation. Those pitchers are programmed like robots, and that's an adjustment. So right now, coming out of the bullpen with the bases loaded, John Gibbons probably feels that might be a difficult situation for Happ. He likes his chances better, leaving Hutchison, who's got a real good pulse to this game.
So Figueroa comes up here. Left-handed hitter. Blue Jays did not see him last night. Figueroa in just 10 games, 3 for 20, hitting 150. Bases still loaded. Blue Jays 2, Rays 2, 6th inning. The pitch is high, ball 1. Rodriguez had popped to short, and Hutchison struck him out last time up with 2 men on. Here Molina strikes out with 3 men on, but it's just the first out. And the next pitch, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Figueroa hitless in his last 11 at-bats. Last played June the 3rd at Detroit. He's gone back and forth with the Rays minor league system. Infield looking for a double play ground ball. The pitch fouled off left-hand side. Now Drew got away with one up in the zone right there.
He did. He's facing a struggling hitter right here, and I like the fact that Navarro's going right after him with that fastball. But now in a situation where a player is not swinging the bat well, does not play a ton, this might be a good time to throw that slider down and in on Figueroa, try to get him swinging and missing. If a strikeout right here would be huge to face Rodriguez or to face Kevin Kiermaier with 2 outs.
And the 1-2 pitch, that is high, 2-2.
You can see Navarro gives Hutchison the nod right there after that pitch, saying, good job. That's exactly where I wanted that pitch, up in the zone, trying to get Figueroa to chase. He does not bite.
Figueroa has been in AAA Durham, hitting 300. 3 home runs, 29 RBIs during his promotion here. Loney at third, Geyer at second, and Escobar at first. Hutchison reading Navarro, stunning down from third. Loney the stretch. And the 2-2 delivery just outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit up in the zone again. On deck, the left-handed hitting leadoff man, Kevin Kiermaier. So now this pretty good-sized crowd here with Joan Jett's concert to follow, trying to help the Rays break a 2-2 deadlock in the 6th inning, the stretch. 1 out. The 3-2 pitch, drilled to right field down the line. That's going to hook foul past the Rays bullpen.
Well, Hutchison has put himself in a difficult situation here by going 3-2 with the bases loaded. I think you have to throw the fastball here and just hope to locate it well so that Figueroa does not hit it hard. You have to remember you're facing a struggling hitter. Go ahead and attack, be aggressive, and hope that your defense can work for you.
So Drew reads his catcher. The stretch again. And the 3-2 pitch, foul back to the screen. Hutchison at 111 pitches. And for Drew, this is his high water mark. The most he has pitched up to this point, 105 pitches. And then he did have 109 against the Phillies back on May the 6th. So that's really his high water mark. And now he's in uncharted waters here. His 112th pitch on the way. Breaking ball fouled off to the left, and we go again.
And they did go to the slider. Deanna Navarro called the backdoor slider. He called the slider for Hutchison, but he set up middle away to the left-handed hitting Figueroa. Hutchison trying to start that slider off the plate away and have it come back over the plate. He did just that, but Figueroa did not give up on it, fouling it off.
Tense moment here in the game, 6th inning, tied at 2. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 3-2 pitch, that's low, ball 4. Drew upset it himself, and the Rays with the bases loaded walk go out in front 3-2 as here comes John Gibbons. And that's not the way that Hutchison wanted to finish it.
No, he knew that that was his hitter, and if he could retire Figueroa, that he may get the chance to go further, but John Gibbons is going to go to the lefty hap to face Kiermaier. Kiermaier just crushes right-handed pitching, hitting only 184 versus lefty. This is the matchup he was looking for, but Drew Hutchison wanted that batter.
And also made a little bit more difficult for him because he's born and bred right here in Florida in nearby Lakeland. Family comes over, friends, and you try to block that out of your mind, but it's still a presence.
It still is. And Drew Hutchison, we know most of the day, as I talked about even earlier in the game, just didn't look like he was sharp today. Wasn't as sharp as he normally was with his fastball command especially, but also with that slider. Threw some good sliders. That's how he got a lot of his strikeouts, mainly sliders, but just wasn't as sharp. And when you're not sharp with your fastball and commanding it the way you want to, you're fighting counts all day. That's what spiked his pitch count. And wouldn't you know it, it's a walk that sends him to the showers today.
So with Jay Happ coming on, this call to the bullpen brought to you by Allstate for 6. Well, here we go. 3-2 Rays now. Kevin Kiermaier, left-hand hitting leadoff man, comes up. 6th inning, 1 out. The bases remain loaded for the Rays. Kiermaier has doubled and scored, walked and struck out. Left-hander against left-hander. Happ is set. Surrounded by Rays. He's in there with strike 1. Happ overall in 16 games, 13 as a starter, 7-5. His ERA 4.72. He's given up 83 hits over 76 and a third innings. Has struck out 63, walked 33. He's given up 9 home runs. He's on the outside corner, strike 2 called, and he gets a real edge here on Kiermaier.
Well, Happ is a 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. As a starter, he'll use all 4 pitches, but as a reliever now, this is new. He hasn't done this in a while since earlier this season. May not see all 4 pitches out of the bullpen.
The stretch. Strike 2 pitch. Chopped on the ground to third. That's going to skip through a base hit into left field. 1 run scores. Here's Escobar to the plate. The 2-bounce throw up the first base side. He scores with a slide and no play. Stopping at second base is Figueroa. Back to first with a 2-run single is Kiermaier, and the Rays go out in front 5-2.
Well, Happ made 2 great pitches to get ahead 0-2, but then he made too good a pitch. 0-2, you've got to get that ball off the plate further. It should not even be hittable. Use it as a setup pitch and then come back and try to go get him. He just didn't get it out there enough. Kiermaier, as good as he's been hitting, just left it on the plate enough, just on that outside corner. He's able to slap that ball into left field. Good piece of hitting with 2 strikes by a good hitter.
And that's one of those that you used to say a ball, almost a seeing eye base hit.
It is, and that's a very unfortunate break for the Blue Jays. But again, as a pitcher, you want to make that unhittable. You're trying to get a hitter to chase something 0-2. If they swing, it's going to be a swing and miss or maybe a foul tip.
Ben Zobrist up in his 1,000th career game takes strike one. Zobrist is 0 for 2, and he's also walked. Cole Figueroa drew the bases loaded walk as a pinch hitter. He's at second. Kiermaier with 2 RBIs. He's at first. 2 for 3 today with a walk. Hutchison walked 5, 3 in this inning. The ball sliced down the right field side foul. And that was the beginning of the end for Drew with the leadoff walk, a single, another walk, a strikeout, and then a third walk.
Well, we talked about his command all day, and he just was not as sharp as we've seen him. And eventually it came to catch up to Drew.
So a 3-run burst here for the Rays in the 6th inning to break a 2-2 tie-up. Make it 5-2. The pitch on the way is inside. Jake Odorizzi, a spot start here for David Price, and to be precise, he's pitching with 4 days rest, so this is a normal start for him, not a spot start. Price are hopeful of pitching tomorrow. This is the game the Blue Jays are looking at where they don't have to face that all-star who is 14-2 lifetime against them in 18 starts. 1 out. The runners lead. 1-2 pitch. That is low. Figueroa there got a big jump toward third base. Happ is left-handed. His back is to the runner. We'll see what the Rays do with that speed.
Kiermaier on first base as the trail runner. He'll keep his eye on Figueroa. If Figueroa does break, Kiermaier will trail and head to second as well.
And the Happ 2-2 pitch fouled hard down the right field side, back out of play. Dan reaches out over his head, makes a nice two-handed, barehanded catch. Sergio Santos in that bullpen. On deck is another left-handed hitter in Matt Joyce. John Gibbons here gets Happ against the left-hander Kiermaier, turns the switch hitter around and got Joyce to follow. And the 2-2 pitch hit on the ground to third, a foul ball. So Figueroa goes back to second, Kiermaier to first. Both run very well. Five runs, 7 hits for the Rays. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Blue Jays. Here in the 6th. Happ set. Look at the runners. And the 2-2 pitch inside, ball 3. One thing about J. Happ too, and why that career ERA is around 4.7, which he's carrying into this game. He's inevitably gone to 3-2 quite a bit. He has difficulty getting outs on 1, 2, and 3 pitches.
The pitch count has always been an issue for Jay, and he continues to spike it up.
The pitch on the ground between third and short, base hit. Figueroa dashes around third. He's going to score without a throw. The throw is a poor one from Melky to third. Going into third base, Kiermaier. Taking second on the throw is Zobrist. He has just single homer run, and the Rays go out in front 6-2.
Well, the deeper you go into a count against a good hitter, Zobrist sees a lot of pitches. He's able to tee off on this, hitting it hard into left field. Melky Cabrera was coming up to fire this ball home. Realized late he did not have a play, so he tried to adjust his throw and come into third base. Reyes, as a shortstop, winding in around, throws offline. No chance at either bag.
Now the 8th man at bat in the inning is left-handed hitting DH Matt Joyce, a sacrifice fly. He's also hit into a force out and fouled out. He's 0 for 2. But he's contributed to a 6-2 lead now for Tampa Bay. Only 1 out. Runners at second and third. Happ's pitch inside, ball 1. Happ last pitched on Monday. So this would be his normal day to start. Happ went just 4 1/3 innings against the Angels. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. Angels won at 5-2. Happ's pitch is low, 2-0. And, of course, what this does, too, and it's just a byproduct of the pitch counts, the defense back on their heels a little bit.
Working these counts again, too long accounts and throwing a lot of pitches. And it's the walks that eventually drag that defense down.
3 walks in the inning issued by Hutchison. They've all come back to score. The 2-0 pitch fouled off third base side. Two and 1 the count. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, really have been held to just 1 run earned, the other run unearned off Jake Odorizzi, who now's got a 4-run lead to work with. Blue Jays just 2 runs on 4 hits off the 24-year-old right-hander. Half pitch, half swing. Joyce goes around. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A very important weekend for both teams. And really, it's fair to say more so for the Rays than the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays come in here 3 back. The Rays are 10.5 back. 2-2 pitch on the ground to third, and it takes a hop right over the head of Francisco. Base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes the second one. The throw goes into second. Joyce with a ground ball. 2-run single to left field to cash in Kiermaier and Zobrist. And the Rays go out in front 6-2. Make that 8-2. It was 6-2.
Well, Matt Joyce just stuck his bat out. Talk about a tough break on this artificial turf. It just bounded right over the head of Juan Francisco. The ball was not hit very hard. But on this artificial surface, it bounces up and scores both runs.
And now what John Gibbons is forced to do here, he sits Sergio Santos in the bullpen, and half, as we said, this would have been his start with the 4 days rest. Now he's got to finish it.
He'll be out there for a little while now, I think, and what John wants to do now is, of course, keep his bullpen intact for tomorrow with a shot to win a series if they cannot come back here.
Longoria, first pitch swinging, pops it up to third. Francisco comes in, looks up into the roof. He has it. That's now just the second out as 9 Rays have come to the plate here in this 6-run inning.
First baseman, Jimmy Loney.
There's Loney, who started the inning, and I would have to say if Drew Hutchison wanted any at-bat back, it would be the leadoff walk here to Loney.
How many times have you said it? Leadoff walk. That's what started this entire inning, this mess that was created by Drew himself.
So Loney starts it all over again. 2 for 2 and a walk, 2 runs scored. And the Rays have broken it open. Half in there with strike 1. So the books are closed on Hutchison. He gives up 6 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits. He walked 5, struck out 7, and came in here 6 and 7. So he's on the hook right now as Happ tries to keep it right where it is, and it's a 6-run deficit. Pitch is fouled back to the screen. 113 pitches for Drew, 64 strikes. 69 strikes. But 113 pitches over 5 1/3 innings.
Yeah, that's not what Drew's after. He just was not sharp. It did not look like he had his delivery all day, really.
Upset. Strike 2 pitch. That's outside.
He was able to make some pitches to get out of those earlier innings. I talked about the third where he's able to get a couple of ground balls after a couple of walks. In the fourth, he gave up the 1 run, but again, able to get 2 strikeouts to get out of that to limit the damage, but just was not able to do it here in the 6th.
And the 1-2 pitch is outside.
It's almost as though you can only avert disaster so much, and because he was not as sharp today, he had the slider at times. He was able to rack up 7 strikeouts, but the walks eventually, the poor command eventually caught up to him.
2 down, look at first. 2-2 pitch foul back. We had mentioned when Drew came into the start earlier in the broadcast, he had lost 4 of his last 6 games and had allowed 17 runs in his past 33 innings. So that now is 23 runs he's allowed in his last 38 innings. And I think it tells you, too, that maybe he's hit the wall a little bit, and if anybody needs a break at the All-Star break. It's the entire major leagues, but people like Drew Hutchison as well. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. The inning is over. We'll talk about that when we come back. The Rays have just rolled a 6 here in the 6th. We go to the 7th inning. Tampa Bay leads at 8-2. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. VTech bottom of the 9th trivia challenge for your chance to win weekly VTech Packs Plus and trip to next year's spring training in Dunedin, Florida. Enter and play on your smartphone or online at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. Cole Figueroa will stay in the game at second base after pinch hitting and walking for Sean Rodriguez, the second baseman. So Figueroa did his job. He drew a walk with the bases loaded, scored a run, and the Rays with 6 to now lead at 8-2. Kobe Rasmus up against the right-hander Jake Odorizzi. There is strike one. Rasmus has tripled and scored one of 2 Blue Jays runs. Came home on Juan Francisco's sacrifice fly. Juan's on deck. And then Rasmus struck out with 2 men on in the 4th. And the next pitch is inside. We're mentioning that for Hutchison, now in his last 7 starts, he has given up a total now of 22 runs in the last 38 innings. And the pitch is swung on and missed. He today threw 113 pitches. It's 95 games in. The All-Star game is later this year. The season started right here March 31st. And Joe, this is why Major League teams need the All-Star break, but in particular certain players and pitchers in this case, like 23-year-old Drew Hutchison. There's a ground ball to first. Nice sliding stop by Loney. Goes to the bag with the ball. 1 down.
Well, there's no question, especially Drew coming off Tommy John surgery. It makes it very difficult. He only threw 35 innings in his comeback last year after surgery. So you have to know that there may be some repercussions as he gets deeper into the season. He's been very good this season. Drew Hutchison's been a key part of this rotation. He's been I don't want to say a pleasant surprise, but anytime somebody's coming back from surgery, you just don't know. And there's been a lot of success rates with these Tommy John surgeries. Drew has proven that. But again, as we get later into the season here, you have to, you said it before we broke, has he hit the wall?
There's a swing and a miss. Have to think, even mentally and physically, he has, and that's just natural for someone in his first full year.
First full year, especially after surgery, and you're recovering and coming back from not pitching a whole lot last year.
The pitch is low. In that last inning, when 10 Rays came to the plate, a total of 55 pitches were thrown by the Blue Jays, 32 by Drew alone, leading to 3 walks, and 23 by Jay Happ, trying to finish it off. 1-1 pitch foul back.
And I know if I talk to Drew tomorrow about today, he'll just say that he didn't feel good. His delivery wasn't there. He just wasn't sharp. But he'll be ready to get that ball next time out. That's his competitive nature. And that's the best part about Hutchison. He'll want the ball next time out. But exactly, I think the Blue Jays are going to have to keep an eye on him.
And the pitch is high. Not only 113 pitches, but he had only 1, 2, 3 inning. Everything else was a real struggle.
It was a real struggle. I talked about those 3rd and 4th innings there, that he made some great pitches to get out of those innings. The 4th inning, he did allow the 1 run to limit the damage.
Francisco takes inside.
But when you're not sharp throughout the course of a game, eventually that's going to catch up to you, and it did in that 6th inning to Hutchison, walking 3 batters.
3-2 pitch to Juan. Hit the left center field deep. Back for it goes Kiermaier. He came in. Now he goes back. It's over his head. Bounces off the wall and then kicks over the wall. That's a ground rule double. Juan, who had hit a sacrifice fly to left in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Now goes the other way again. Good to see him hitting the opposite way, and he's got a 2-base hit.
Oh, Juan stayed on this ball very well. It was a slider that didn't do much. It just stayed right out over the plate on the outer half of the plate. And again, Juan stays on that ball very well. When he stays on the baseball and stays through it, he just has tremendous power. You cannot teach that. But when he runs into that ball, clearly hit it deep to that deep part of left center field.
Odorizzi had retired 5 in a row. Now the base hit by Francisco. Steve Tollison comes up. He's popped up to short and hit into a force out. Right-handed hitter against the right-hander Odorizzi. 7th inning. The 1-out hit. Just the 5th for the Blue Jays. They trail at 8-2. The Rays have out hit the Blue Jays 9-5. Shift on 3 infielders to the left of second. I'll look back at second. Tollison takes high. Odorizzi started the year, first 12 starts, he pitched to an ERA of 5.3. His last 6 starts, not including this one, he's pitched to an ERA of 2.2. He's getting better as the season goes on. The pitch is outside, and here he's allowed 1 earned run. That's all over 6 1/3 innings, pitching to that ERA. 2-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Collison caught looking. The plate umpire Mike Everett up with a fist. 2 down. Steve did not like that call, but the professional he is, he walks away.
May have been just off that outside corner, but Jose Molina did a nice job receiving it, giving Mike Everett a good look behind the plate, and Odorizzi gets the call.
7 strikeouts for Odorizzi. Now, Drew had 7 strikeouts, but he also walked 5 and 3 in the 6th inning, and all 3 walks came back to score off him. Goes up here, takes ball 1. Odorizzi walked Jose Bautista with 2 down in the 1st inning. He had not walked anybody since. Swing and a miss by Anthony. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ghost has flied out and then tried to bunt his way on, dragging a ball up along first base, but nice play by Odorizzi to just get him. Sergio Santos is warming up again in the Blue Jays bullpen and left. The pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck, leadoff hitter Jose Reyes. Tomorrow we are on there at 1 o'clock Eastern, full pregame show. 1:40 first pitch. The Rays are hopeful it's David Price. The Blue Jays send R.A. Dickey to the hill. Ghost lines one softly into right field. That's a base hit. Around third, Francisco. He's heading home. He scores without a throw. Ghost goes back to first, and the Blue Jays with their 3rd run, trailing 8-3.
Shortstop, Jose Reyes.
That ball came back inside. Odorizzi wanted to stay that away, keep it away from Ghost right there, but he pulls the hands inside, and that's what you have to do on the ball in. Anthony, nice and short, just pull the hands inside. You don't have to be all big with your swing. Keep those hands in tight, close to your body, staying inside it, but just short to the baseball, and he did that, able to line it just into right field to get that run home.
Right-hander Joel Peralta now has peeled off the jacket. He's going to start to warm up down the right field line. Blue Jays with a run across here in the 7th inning. Here's Reyes. Jose 1 for 3, but tried to stretch a single into a double, was thrown out by right fielder Ben Zobrist. Reyes trying to keep it moving for Melky Cabrera. Throw to first base, goes back. So Odorizzi here at 103 pitches, got speed to contend with and a pretty good switch hitter at the plate. Pitch is outside. Anthony scooting along that dirt there, and they're either going to make a play on him or he's going to try to steal second.
He's going to have to be careful, because with you're down 8-3, this isn't really a time to steal unless you've got it 100%. And I'm not sure he's in that position right now.
He gets his lead, does not go. Pitch is high.
And the veteran Molina behind the plate too. Don't think he's not taking note of that. I'm sure Tim Leeper is in Anthony's ear right now, just saying, be careful of that secondary lead.
Now here comes the pitching coach, Jim Hickey. It was a number of years ago right here that Jose Molina was a Blue Jay. In the 1st inning, threw out Carl Crawford trying to steal. Now, a lot of catchers couldn't do that. He then threw out a Blue Jay in the 2nd inning. 3rd inning, got Crawford again in the 4th. That set a Blue Jays record. No catcher in Blue Jays history had ever thrown out 4 runners in one game until Molina did that.
That's a great day at the office for a backstop, that's for sure.
So Hickey with some quick words there for Odorizzi.
I'm sure Mr. Hickey is just letting him know that, hey, try to get through this. He knows that he's getting deep here in the 7th inning, but I'm sure Odorizzi wants to finish this inning off, and Hickey wants him to.
So back behind the plate is Molina. Hickey in the first base dugout. 2-0 pitch. That's outside. And all of a sudden it's 3-0 here on Reyes. Peralta blazing away now down the right field line. Longoria even with a bag at third. Reyes will use the whole field. Goes to the lead. Does not go. And the pitch is inside, ball 4. He walked him on 4. That's the second walk, and the first walk since Bautista in the first.
Odorizzi giving a long peek into his dugout, wondering if Joe Madden is coming to get him, and looks like he's going to get to face Cabrera.
Jim Hickey on the phone just to confirm that Peralta's ready. And the catcher Molina is going to go out to the mound. I think this is just to make sure Peralta gets 1 or 2 more pitches, and he may come in right now.
He may see him after all. Odorizzi knew with the walk to Reyes that he could be getting the hook, and he's peeking in the dugout right now as he's talking to Jose Molina. Now, as a catcher, you never go out there and say, I'm just killing time because they want to take you out of the game. That's when you have to be a good liar. And you just have to say, pat him on the back and say, come on, one more guy here. We got 2 down. Let's get this guy. Even though you know full well that might not be the case. And here comes Joe Madden right now.
That's going to be it for Odorizzi. 107 pitches, but he's got an 8-3 lead. And he, like Drew Hutchison, upset that he would walk the last man that he faced. And for Drew, remember, when he did that, it was his 3rd walk in the 6th inning, and that was with the bases loaded.
Well, and going 7 innings is a nice accomplishment, too, for a starting pitcher. Anything that says 5 or 6 plus, it's a good day, but it's not a great day. If Odorizzi could have gotten through this 7th inning, it could have turned into a very fine day for him.
So a nice hand for Odorizzi, who leads here with a 5-run lead. Joel Peralta comes on from that Rays right field bullpen. We're in the 7th inning, 8-3 T-Bay. So Melky will wait here. Well, we have a moment. Let's go back to Toronto. Here's Mike Wilner with a Sportsnet out-of-town scoreboard.
And the ball.
So here he gets the number 2 hitter in John Gibbons' lineup. On deck, Jose Bautista, trying to come up here in this Blue Jays 7th inning. The strike 1 pitch, swing and a miss. When you talk about Cabrera, he's kind of slid under or Peralta, Joel Peralta, he slid under the radar. Peralta in his Rays career has faced the 3, 4, and 5 hitters more than any other spots in the order, has held them to a cumulative 186 average.
He comes in against the tough ones. He'll average 90 miles per hour with his fastball, curveball, and split finger. That was the split right there to Cabrera. He left it elevated in the zone. That's not where he wants to leave that pitch.
An 0-2 count here on Melky. Cabrera ready. Peralta looks at second. And the strike 2 pitch just off the plate outside. So Ghost with his great speed. He's at second. He's single to right to knock home Juan Francisco's double. Jose Reyes drew a walk on 4 pitches. He's at first. Cabrera trying to extend the inning. Jose Bautista hopeful of an at-bat on deck. Peralta takes the big sigh. Now he straightens up on the mound. Look at second. And a fake to second. Diving back in goes no throw. Shortstop Junel Escobar came over to the bag.
Not sure what Escobar's thinking right there. Peralta just in the game. He should set 100% of his focus on the hitter right here. Scores 8-3. Really, those runners do not mean a whole lot. Escobar should just let his pitcher focus on home plate.
And the stretch again. Glove at the waist. And the 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The inning is over. Peralta does his job. The Blue Jays held to 1 run. 2 hits, 2 left. 7th inning stretch we go. The Rays 8, the Blue Jays 3. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Just a reminder, the Buffalo Bison Summer 6-pack on Sportsnet 590 The Fan continues this Thursday, July the 17th. The Bisons travel to Boston's AAA Pawtucket Red Sox Thursday night. And Ben Wagner at the microphone will be there with you. 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. So listen up for Ben and his great calls. The Bisons in Pawtucket against the Red Sox AAA club. Here, Sergio Santos comes on to pitch to the Rays in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tampa Bay with a foothold here, leading 8-3. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 9-6. Brandon Guyer comes up, right-handed hitter and left fielder. He's 1 for 3 with a single and run scored in the 6-run 6th inning. That's the game right now. There is strike 1. Matt Joyce, a sacrifice fly in the first off Drew Hutchison, matched by the Blue Jays in the second. Juan Francisco's sacrifice fly to cash in a Colby Rasmus triple. And then each scored in the fourth inning. Deanna Navarro single home Jose Bautista, who had reached on an error. There's a swing and a miss. And the Rays answered just as quickly off Hutchison on an RBI single to center by Jose Molina to bring in James Loney. And then when Drew Hutchison started the sixth inning with that game tied at 2, he walked Loney, and then a base hit by Geyer, walked Escobar, a strikeout of Molina, and they walked then to pinch hitter Cole Figueroa. And the Rays were off to the races. Geyer bangs one deep to left field, heading for the wall. That's a base hit off the wall, taking the Karam Cabrera. One throw, and that's to lob it back into third. Geyer with his second straight hit. He's 2 for 4. A double puts him at second.
It's a hanging slider by Sergio Santos. It just stays up in the zone and on the inner half of the plate. When you're throwing that slider, it's got to be down and away to the right-handed batter. Get on the side of the baseball, and it just spins, and you don't get that sharp break.
Yunel Escobar comes up here. It's been a tough year for Sergio. 23 games, his ERA 7.23. That's the 22nd hit he's allowed in 18 2/3 innings. And then you throw in 15 walks, nearly a walk an inning, and with 25 strikeouts. Geyer at second, Escobar up here. Yunel fouls one back to the screen, had a good cut on a pitch right down the heart of the plate.
Right down the middle, and that's why that was a healthy swing from Escobar. You've either got to get inside with the fastball right here or go back away with the slider, but when hitters start feeling really comfortable, and Escobar's going up right there looking for a fastball, and he got it, but he got one right down the middle about belt high.
In that 6-run six, we mentioned Yunel walked, so did Loney to start it, and then later the walk to Cole Figueroa. That made it 3-2, and that was the end for Hutchison. Happ came on. Sergio is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kevin Kiermaier, the leadoff hitter, chopped a ground ball to third. That went through into left field, seeing eye base hit, but that knocked home 2 to make it 5-2. Ben Zobrist with a ground ball through the left side off Happ. That drove in a run to make it 6-2. Matt Joyce with a ground ball bounced over the head of third baseman Juan Francisco. That drove in 2. There's a swing and a miss. 3 straight ground balls, and all of a sudden a 3-2 game became 8-2.
It got ugly in a hurry, and when you look back at box scores, if a team scores 5, 6 plus runs in one inning, that team usually wins the ball game. You have to avoid the big inning. Hutchison got himself in all kinds of trouble with the 3 walks, but J. Happ could not come in and close the door, adding a few more.
1-2 here on Yunel. And the Santos pitch hit on the ground between third and short. That's a base hit out into left field. Stopping at third, Geyer. Cabrera throws it back to the plate, cut by Francisco. And the Rays have runners at first and third.
Well, very similar pitch here by Santos. It's a slider, and it is just absolutely hanging. When you're not getting out front and your fingers on top of the slider, and pulling it down, you're not going to get that good sharp break. His arm is trailing. He's getting on the side of the baseball, and that ball is essentially just spinning and staying middle in. He's lucky those balls are staying in the ballpark.
Jose Molina comes up. 1-4-3, an RBI single to center. That tied the game at 2 back in the 4th inning. Nobody out here in the Tampa Bay 7th inning. The runners lead at first and third. Sergio inside ball 1. Santos last pitched on Monday. That was against the Angels. In the Angels 5-2 win. Santos came on in the 6th inning. Walked Josh Hamilton. And then Howie Kendrick hit into a fielder's choice ground ball, leaving 3 men on. That was it. The pitch is low, and off the glove of Navarro. He can't find it, and up to second base goes Escobar. And the Rays have runners at second and third. That removes the double play possibility.
I think it'll be a wild pitch. It was in the dirt. Navarro just not able to come up with it. It looked like it actually got underneath his glove. It may have hit the right leg of home plate umpire Mike Ever. That probably saved the Blue Jays a run.
So the infield drawn in. Runners at second and third. 2-0 the count on Molina. And Sergio's pitch, that's low, ball 3. Big crowd here today. It's a Joan Jett concert promotion. She was at the mic for 2 innings doing the public address announcing. And the Rays here have an 8-3 lead on her night. There's a strike called. 3 balls and 1 strike. And this game started at 4:11, and it's getting into the nighttime here. 6:50 already. Blue Jays and Rays played in 3 hours and 41 minutes last night. Blue Jays won it 8-5. Here it's 8-3. The score almost reversed. As Santos serves up the 3-1 pitch. Outside low, ball 4. Another walk, and the bases are loaded for Cole Figueroa. Pitching coach Pete Walker to the mound. Sergio just doesn't have it.
He just does not have it. He has no idea right now where the fastball command is just off again. But each of the sliders we've seen him throw just backing up and staying arm side, just spinning, not getting that good break. When he's throwing his good slider, he's getting that sharp and late breaking movement, as any pitcher does with the breaking ball. But Sergio's not getting that right now, and he's having trouble locating the fastball. That's a bad combination. He's a 3-pitch pitcher. He also has a changeup, but he'll usually utilize that against left-handed batters. You may see him go to that here against Figueroa.
Second baseman, number 35, Cole Figueroa.
Dyers at third. Opened the inning with a double off the left field fence. And now he's ready. Kicks. And the 1-2 pitch. Half swing. Did he go on the appeal? Yes, he struck him out. Says third base umpire Todd Titchener. That's the first out of the inning.
39, Kevin Kiermaier.
And those last 2 pitches, those are the good sliders from Santos. That's where he wants to be with that pitch. Sharp, late movement down in the zone. A lot of times it's only the difference of about an inch of your release point or that grip on the baseball. It's not the difference of a whole lot, but if you are not getting on top of it and out front, it's going to back up, and that's hitter haven.
Kevin Kiermaier, left-handed hitter, comes up. 8-3 Rays. A pitch hit on the ground into right field. That's a base hit. Dyer in to score. Here comes Unell. Goes, throws to the plate, and Unell goes back smartly to third. That throw there, a laser on one bounce to Navarro. The bases remain loaded, but a run in is 9-3 Tampa Bay. How about that throw by Ghost?
That was a nice job by Anthony Ghost, the way he came and approached that baseball as well. Pitch was away to Kiermaier, but he is just a hot hitter right now. He's finding a way to get hit. It's out away from him, but he comes around and pulls that ball into right field. But Ghost comes up and throws a one-hop strike to home plate. There's another part. You talk about the development of Anthony Ghost that he needs to continue to work on. Nice throw.
Todd Redmond starts to warm up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Santos has given up a run here. Ben Zobrist up, switch hitter, batting left-handed. He takes low, ball 1. So Sergio's given up a double, a single, a walk, struck out Figueroa, and now an RBI single by Kiermaier. Kiermaier's at first. Molina moved up to second, and at third is Escobar. Sergio's pitch. Fly ball sent to center field, deep but playable. Back goes Rasmus, tagging Unell. Rasmus the catch. Here comes Unell. He's coming in to score. Molina stays at second, and it's 10-3. Rays a sacrifice fly for Zobrist. That's his second run batted in today.
Number 20, Matt Joyce.
Ben Zobrist is just a professional hitter. He just knows what the situation is, knows that he's trying to get something out over the plate that he can drive. He did just that. Drove that ball to deep enough center field to get that runner home.
So the Rays have scored a couple here in the 7th inning, running away now with this one, leading 10-3. They've out hit the Blue Jays 12-6. Matt Joyce, the hitter, left-hand hitting DH. He takes outside, ball 1. Joyce, 3 RBIs, a sacrifice fly, and last time up a 2-run single on the ground to left. He takes it low and inside. Sergio came in with an earned run average of 7.23, and already here it's jumped to 7.91.
Yeah, not good. He just has not had it today. Talk about, it's one thing to not have your fastball command, something Hutchison was fighting today too, but you have to have that secondary pitch, but Sergio has not really had that either.
A strike called, 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's amazing as a major league pitcher how you just cannot get away with it when you don't have your A game, and you've got to battle when you don't have your best stuff. But these big league hitters will get you. When you leave balls out on the plate, you're going to get hurt.
Molina at second, Figueroa at first. The pitch is low. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Joyce. Evan Longoria to follow. Joyce is the 8th man to bat in this inning. The Rays already batted around here today and scored 6 in the 6th inning. And as go, 3-2 pitch bounce to the plate, ball 4, and they're loaded for Longoria. St. Pete native Todd Redmond is down in that left field bullpen. We'll see if John Gibbons goes to him or not.
Number 3, Evan Longoria.
Molina at third, Kiermaier at second, Joyce at first, and it's a bat around inning again as here's Evan Longoria.
Santos bouncing that pitch to Joyce, not even close to the zone. Afraid to throw a fastball on that count, I guess, but was not even close, bouncing that slider way in front of home plate.
Longoria takes it high, ball 1, and just for the record, Longoria now is the 8th man to bat. Loney's on deck. This inning started with Geyer, so it's 8 men up here in this 2-run 7th inning, and the Rays already have a 10-3 lead. Longoria is 0-for-4. It's a high pop-up into shallow center field. Going out second baseman Steve Tollison. He's there. He has it. The inning is over, but 2 runs later. To the top of the 8th we go. The Rays 10, the Blue Jays 3. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a pitch.
We move to the Toronto area Ford dealers 9th inning with your drive home. Get the standard features you expect and some you don't. Get more in a Ford from your Toronto area Ford dealers. Visit TorontoFordDealers.ca for details. Well, the details are not pretty for the Blue Jays as we go here to the top of the 9th inning. 10 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 9 left for the Rays. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left for the Blue Jays. Left-hander Eric Bedard comes on, and so Darren Mastriani will pinch hit for the left-hand hitting Juan Francisco. Mastriani, a right-handed hitter, fouls one off to the right, strike 1. From Navan, Ontario, Eric Bedard. Been with the Orioles, the Mariners. Now here with the Rays. Off-speed pitch fouled off third base side. Bedard in 16 games has started 15 of those in a pinch when Matt Moore went down with Tommy John surgery. 4-6 overall his record. ERA 4.82. Given up 82 hits over 74 2/3 innings. And the strike 2 pitch. Line to the right side and off the glove of second baseman Cole Figueroa. The ball ricochets into right field. That's a base hit for Mastriani. A pinch hit to bring up Steve Tollison.
Second baseman
Steve Tollison.
Well, Bedard was moved back to that Rays bullpen just recently with the return of Jeremy Hellickson. He made his season debut against Kansas City on Tuesday, so Bedard's back to the bullpen. He'll be around 88 miles per hour with his fastball. He's got a curveball, cutter, and changeup.
And he's pitching before a crowd of 22,693 today. 22,693. Tollison up here. First pitch swing. He loops one to left field. That's going to drop in front of a charging left fielder, Brandon Geyer. Base hit. So Bedard's given up a couple of base hits here. Not hard hit balls, but hits nonetheless.
And Bedard does give up a lot of hits, more than hits per inning pitch, which is really a lot if you're a pitcher looking at those numbers. And opponents hitting 272 against him, so he will give it up. 4.82 ERA also, so he's had his struggles.
Pitching for Ghost, number 31, Eric Kratz.
Well, let me chime in and say Eric Kratz is pinch hitting here for Anthony Ghost. Kratz comes up here against the left-hander Bedard. Anthony 1-4-3, a single to right to knock in a run, but at the time it was 8-2 Tampa Bay. That run came in the 7th. We're in the 9th inning. Rays lead at 10-3. And Kratz takes a low ball one. Eric comes to the plate here in 31 games, hitting .205. As a pinch hitter, 1 for 8. That was a pinch hit home run right here. Opening day, March 31st. It was 9-0. Kratz hit a 2-run home run. Your final score was 9-2. Price beating R.A. Dickey. There's a strike called. And here today, without Price, the Rays lead at 10-3. Jake Odorizzi, 6 2/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 total, his game to win. And Hutchison, 5 1/3, gave up 6 earned runs on 6 hits, his game to lose. Mastriani gets his lead at second, Towlison at first. Bedard's pitch foul back to the screen.
Odorizzi was good today. He was just all around the strike zone, never really got in a whole lot of trouble. The Blue Jays were just never really able to amount too much against him. The 1 run early on with that triple by Colby Rasmus, which was essentially a bloop single. And then in the 4th, Jose Bautista getting on board. The throwing error from Rodriguez. So really, they were not able to get too much. And then Peralta and Oviedo have come in and pretty well kept this Blue Jays lineup at bay.
The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, hit the center field in. Now going back for it, Kevin Kiermaier. He's there, makes the catch. Tagging is the speedy Mastriani. He sprints to third. Throw comes into second on a bounce. 1 down in the 9th now with runners at first and third.
Shortstop, Jose Reyes.
Well, that's how you do it. If you're Mastriani, you concede nothing, even though there's a 7-run deficit he's looking at.
That's right. Play the game hard. There's nothing wrong with taking that extra base.
Jose Reyes, 1 for 3 and a walk, but when he singled, he tried to stretch that to a double. Ben Zobrist threw him out at second base. 10 runs, 12 hits for the Rays, 3 runs, 9 hits for the Blue Jays. The pitch is low. Odorizzi walked only 2. Those are the walks the Blue Jays have receded for. Conversely, how about the Blue Jays? They have walked 8 here today.
That's the problem that keeps creeping back in.
Reyes takes it low.
And it started with Drew Hutchison. He was cruising along pretty good because he was getting out of some trouble, but he was able to make pitches to get out of a couple innings early on. But, you know, normally when you don't have your command like Drew did not have, he just was not sharp today. That'll come back to haunt you, and it certainly did in that 6th inning. He just couldn't get out of the trouble he put himself into with those walks.
Bedard's pitch popped up on the infield. Bedard says, I got it, but the first baseman's right there, and Bedard makes the play with James Loney, the veteran first baseman, right there. That's not good communications.
You don't normally see a major league pitcher field a pop-up on pitcher's mound. Now, sometimes the situation does call for it. If it's not hit that high and your corner infielders, both at third and first base, are kind of far back, sure, you'll take it. But it looked like Loney was able to get there. A little miscommunication. You have to be careful. That's how someone can get hurt.
10-3 Rays. 2 outs. Blue Jays top of the 9th inning. Melky up here. Runners at first and third. Bedard's pitch. Strike 1 called. Melky 0 for 4. These fans are on their feet. Number 1, they want to see the Rays win. But number 2, really, why they're here, they want to see Joan Jett in concert. The strike 1 pitch. Changeup popped up down the right field line. Dropping quickly. Moving over the right fielder Zobrist. And he makes a sliding catch to end the game. Tampa Bay wins it 10-3. This series is tied at a game apiece. We'll be back right after this. Brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network. Tropicana Field, our post-game show is brought to you by your Honda dealers for the victorious Rays winning at 10-3. 10 runs, 12 hits, and error, 9 left. Blue Jays 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 8 left. Jake Odorizzi wins it. He improves his record to 5-8. Drew Hutchison loses it. He is 6-8. 22,693 see the game. That takes 3 hours and 19 minutes to play. So the Blue Jays limping home on this road trip, 2-7 with a game to play. In July, 4-7. against the Rays. They came in 6-2, but now fall to 6-3 as they lose this one here to the Rays. The Rays stopped their 2-game losing streak. And what's more, once again, the Blue Jays have to win tomorrow to win their first series here since April 6th, 7th, and 8th when they won 2 out of 3 against the Rays here at Tropicana Field. That was in 2007, 7 years ago. So now the task is to try to beat David Price if indeed he's the scheduled pitcher with R.A. Dickey to face him. Final again, here's the Rays even up the series at a game apiece. 10-3 Tampa Bay. Back with more right after this, brought to you by Home Hardware. This is the Sportsnet Radio Network.